Hello, my Teaserking family. Well. I did a video last night when I was watching some YouTube to warn you about bank runs and is your bank still open and what's going on with your bank. So after this Silicon Valley bullshit, first they weren't going to bail them out, then they did. Why they bailed them out, I can't answer that question. Because these are all Madoffs. These were people that were stealing from the bank, couldn't afford it. They can't pay their people off, so they basically, the regulators close them, but they're still open because they're going to get a $240 billion bailout, which basically is going to go into their hands. I get back to the Federal Reserve somehow. And the biggest problem is these people are corrupt who run this bank. It's for startups, it's for internet and basically crypto type of firms who are starting to grow. So it gives them a good interest rate or gives them good terms. Then these idiots buy U.S. treasuries with the money. They don't know what to do with the money. None of them are bankers. You have morons, activists running this bank. They don't know what to do. They got it in treasuries. Now the treasuries are going down because the interest rates are going up. It's a correlation. So as they raise interest rates, the value of the bonds drop. If the rates go down, the value goes up. But they're raising rates, so the value of the bonds are really low. So they're losing all this money. It's Madoff. They don't, without new depositors, they can't pay the old ones out because they're not getting any money. They're losing money on the bonds, and then when people want their money, they can't get it. It's pure idiotic bullshit that we saw with Madoff, only it's in a bank. So why are we paying them? Hey, Nick, I have a few strong college plays going Thursday, Friday. Good for you, Nick. I haven't had a chance to look yet. I wanted to look. I had to do my registration for unemployment at the workplace so I can say I'm looking for work. I don't know why. I do it. I'm on Indeed and everything. I am looking, but I'm not going to get anything because nobody's hiring. They're all laying off, especially at my range. Maybe if I go work at Kroger's or Target or something, I can work stock like I used to do when I was 16. But I don't see that, so I had to do that. Then I got my tires. I looked were just so bad, and so my gut instinct told me you better go get them now. It was only $390. It was $80 a title. I'm trying to get. How do we get to $390? And then I realized it's the bullshit that they add on, like the tire insurance in case the tire goes flat. Here, it's $250 is what it should have cost. I know it was $15.60 certificates for refund replacement. Then they charge you to dispose the tire, $750, installation and life of tire maintenance. So they're charging me $22 more to install it. So really, when they say price is $83, the price is really $105 because if they're going to charge you to install it, you're probably why are you doing it a la carte? Just 1 second. Sorry about that. I had an English muffin on. And the way I do it, I don't toast it. I actually put it in a frying pan and then I put the butter on as if you would do an omelet. I just put them face down and I flip them. And that's how I do if I were to do bagels, which I don't really, do many carb foods, but I haven't really eaten in a while. So with my avocado, Bobby, I'm doing that. So back to the bank. Um, so I go to my bank, Fifth Third, second day into my 18-hour daily fast. Well, the key is not only the hours, it's no high fructose corn syrup and no carbs. So you don't want to eat bread, or in your case, spaghetti. And you gotta watch your sugar. You're not gonna have cake and ice cream and Oreo cookies and diet pop. All that shit you got to get rid of, and all your high fructose ketchups, barbecue sauces, Miracle Whip, any of that. You can replace it with, as I told you, the Ken's dressing, which has sugar but no high fructose corn syrup. That's why there's 100 million people on diabetes and another 100 million who don't realize they have it. Anybody you see with a gut has diabetes because it's insulin resistance. And that's you're eating all this sugar, your body can't handle it, and you gain stomach weight. So all you got to do is look at somebody, you got diabetes, and he'll say, no, I don't. And he does. That's why I look at my stomach. As long as it's flat, then I go, I don't have it. But sometimes I get a little bit too much sugar or something, and this gout is from the Diet Coke, I know. So I got to really cut back on that. Usually after swim, I'm tired, I'm thirsty, and a nice Diet Coke, it just tastes good. Sometimes for football, I like to get going with the Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi, and my brain really turns on. Right, no processed sugar, simple carbs. Yeah, it's really what. Now think of it like this, Nick. So in your body, there's a guy who cleans you up. When you break your arm, he fixes it. When you break your leg, he fixes it. But for all your other stuff, if you keep eating too much, he can't fix it. So, but he will fix it if you allow him. So part of it is you have all this sugar in your body from the carbs, from the cake and the ice cream and the Pepsis and the M&Ms, all that garbage, which is killing you. But you don't know it's killing you because you eat the M&Ms. You go, oh, I'm okay. So that's what happens to you. So what we're doing is reversing all that. By going 18 hours, and it's really, don't even think about it like that. It's lunch, it's dinner, and between lunch and dinner, you can have avocados, you can have bananas, you can have cauliflower dipped in little salad dressings. But you'll find you don't eat cauliflower the way you eat Doritos, right? You go through the bag of Doritos. You buy a bag of Doritos, you're eating the whole fucking bag right then. You get cauliflower or broccoli, you're eating 2 or 3 of them going, okay, but I'm not hungry anymore. What you need is a lot of this, a lot of the water will curb your appetite. So you're waking up. I know you work. I would just have coffee, no sugar, no sweetener. Put a little cinnamon in it. That's your breakfast. Figure around 11:30, 12, you have your lunch. And if you're home, it's an omelet with broccoli, cauliflower, a hamburger in it, turkey, chicken, some meat in it. I put mushrooms, red, yellow pepper, and broccoli, and onions. I don't put the lettuce or the cauliflower in an omelet. I don't think it tastes good. But I just made hamburgers, so after this, I'll have an omelet. I'll put a hamburger. I'll take one that I've already made, and I'll just crumple it up, and it tastes so good with the omelet. 3-egg omelet. I use half and half. I don't use regular milk anymore, skim milk. That's not good for you. The 90 chocolate's okay, but just a few squares. I have like 4 squares of the 90 natural. So I'll show you what I got today at Walmart. I mean, this shit's really good and it's really cheap. Now this is called Sam's Choice. I don't know if it's Sam's Club. 90% dark chocolate, and it's only got 3 sugars in it and only 9 carbs. So it's a very, very healthy. But the cocoa is incredible. Does it give me that? Now, this is a product of Switzerland, so I know it's good. Yeah, this might be like Sam's Club, but I don't give a shit. It's Swiss chocolate, premium European chocolate, but 90% cocoa. You want cocoa. It's extremely healthy for you. So you don't eat the whole thing. You eat 2 or 4. It gives you your sweet tooth. It takes care of that. I like have 1 or 2 in the car when I'm, on the way home from swim. I'm a little hungry, but this is nowhere like eating. And I ate this as I lost 70 pounds. I eat this every day. But you'll notice no Cheerios. I used to eat Cheerios and blueberries a lot. I love the combination. I haven't bought Cheerios, Lucky Charms, or Raisin Bran, or any of that in years. I used to eat that a lot. That was my breakfast. So the biggest thing is don't eat the breakfast. You're letting the guy inside you. So think of a pile of food, right? Because you eat 6 meals a day and you eat all this shit. So it's sitting there. Now what we're doing is we're reducing the pile. If that's all we eat in 18 hours, the pile's like this. So we get done with dinner, boom, overnight, he's done. He's cleaned you out. Now he goes after your cells to clean the sugar and clean you. And the first thing you'll notice, give it a month, and the first thing you'll notice is you'll drop half your fat. Your pants, I don't know what size you are. I got up to a 44. And you can see a few years back, you can see my videos, and you'll say he's a fat pig. But that was then. And then I immediately went down to a 40. It was like, give it a month, let your body adjust to it. Boom. And you'll be so happy. And you're not dieting. I never once called this a diet. It's just simply I'm eating avocados. So you got to get avocados, Nick. And that's really my first thing I eat is the avocados for breakfast. And then it's olive oil and butter and salt. And that's it. Do not worry about cholesterol. That's absolutely a joke. What you worry about, sugar. And that the diabetes is what gives you strokes and heart attacks and liver and kidney. So if you get rid of your diabetes, get your stomach flat, get your blood pressure down, you won't have these issues. I've never been so clear in my life. I mean, everything, when I had probably diabetes, I don't know. I was never really diagnosed. I remember I was at 4 driving home, and it would be like I'd be falling asleep at the wheel. And I'm going, Jesus Christ. I mean, I literally couldn't keep my head up. And I didn't know what it was. It was the sugar. My friend said, oh, it's just as we get older, our body ages, and our body, it takes more energy to feed us. Bullshit. It made sense, but it's not correct. Just a second. Oh, you're welcome, Nick. That's what I'm here for. I teach this. I'm not charging you a penny for this. I do it because of love, and I want to help. And now that I know I'm an INFJ and that's what I do, then it makes a whole lot more sense. But just wanted to, okay, well, go back to work, enjoy, try not to stress out. Thinking about getting bison meat for my burgers. Tastes great. Yeah, it's a little more expensive. I saw some was like $12, but whatever you want. It is more. I don't know if it's any better than the cow that we eat, but if you go to a better, like what I do is I go to a better grocery store for my meat. Only my meat. Everything else, the honeydew's $3 more. I'm like, what the fuck is the honeydew? $3 a honeydew. So that kind of stuff I don't buy there, or the salad dressings or any of that. I do go to the deli, and I'll sometimes get the chicken that's rotisserie, stuff like that. But I don't. It's just shop for meat. And kind of feel off since it's my first couple of days doing it, but I expected that. Well, it's like any diet. You're going through withdrawals of probably your carbs and sugar and your high fructose corn syrup. So my advice is, I don't know if you swim, but get into a pool or at least a hot tub, relax, get your mind off of it. I would say watch TV, but I don't know that that's going to do it because of the commercials. So Netflix, if you have, even if you watch the baskets, it's tough because all these commercials you see, Wendy's and Burger King and pizza. It's like, and I'm getting sick of Tubi because on Tubi, I'm watching on Tubi and it goes to a commercial. There's 6 fucking commercials on it. Now it's probably 2.5 minutes, but I don't want 6. Like, seriously? That's the way Roku is. So it's good they have these movies I want to watch, but it's not good they have that. But don't worry, Nick, you'll be fine. Again, your window should be, what are your hours? 18 hours. So figure out your hours. And with working, you might get hungry. So get some water and coffee or tea in you with no sugar substitute. But like I said, bring cinnamon. But what you want to do is just have 3-4 glasses. You're probably dehydrated. You've probably been dehydrated. That's why you eat, and we overeat because we're hungry. But it's boom. I got water, and I just made a coffee. This is really for my foot. I find coffee is good for gout. It kind of loosens it up or something. So right now my foot's swollen, but I can walk on it, so it's not in the joint. I find the strangest thing is I have my sciatic, it's gone. When I got my gout, my sciatic is totally gone now. Now, I don't know if I'll get it back when my foot heals, but I found that to be the most amazing. Like, why did my sciatic go away? Was it really sciatic now, or was it gout that happened to be in the back? Because I've gotten some gout in my knee. And it's okay. It's very mild, but I'm like, what the hell's going on? I got a whole lot of shit in me. I'm going to really, I got to do another 75 or 90 hour fast, maybe in a week or two, because I just did a 46 hour fast Friday, Saturday. I broke it with my Chinese, but that's what you need to do. So don't worry, Nick. You probably need just drink more water and tea and coffee and eat your, at noon and then I guess at 6. So you have a 6-hour window, right? Because you're not eating 18 hours. But in the 6-hour window, when I get home from swim, I can, like I said, I've been having the diet Pepsi. I can just, I should get off that because obviously it's hurting my foot. I'm probably so clean, that's why it goes to my foot. But have the water, have the coffee or tea, whatever you like. You can put lemon in the water, which really helps reduce your appetite. And it's really not bad. I mean, you get used to all these things. Olive oil, you'll get used to it. Basically now when I go to the grocery store, I go to the veggie aisle. All right, I get red leaf lettuce, I got broccoli, cauliflower. Today I got celery. What else? Red, yellow, orange peppers and mushrooms. But if you don't like it, you don't get it. You could get zucchini, squash. You could get any veggies really. And then I use them for 2 purposes. One for a salad, and then one when I make my omelet. So usually I'll switch off. One day I'll have my steak with the salad, and the next day I'll make an omelet with it. The eggs are very important, even if you don't. That you should have. Now, if you maybe make it at night and then bring it to work, a nice 3-egg omelet, and then just nuke it up if you want. But definitely put veggies in it. Then it kills 2 birds with one. The eggs are extremely healthy for you, and they'll fill you up. You're after protein and fats, which you think you wouldn't. Everyone, don't eat red meat. Bullshit. Red meat's fine as long as it's not processed. You could have a steak every night, Nick. You could have ribs. You can have roast. You can have hamburgers, chicken, salmon, all that shit. Stay away from like crab and lobster and shrimp. They're all bottom feeders and they're not good for you. So, those are some, there's some things that come through. So I don't eat pig ears. We'll leave that to Bobby, wherever he is today. But anyway, so those are your kind of guidelines. But it's not a diet. I never once have thought of this as a diet. And if I lost my birthday last week, I went and got the ribs. I had a piece of cake. I think I got cheesecake from the grocery store, but I just got a piece of it. You don't buy the whole cake. And I'm alone until the gals can get here from Europe. But I get like a slice of chocolate cake, or I like chocolate mousse, or I buy an ice cream. I don't buy the whole gallon. I buy like a little one helping of it. And that'll help because that'll get your sweet tooth. But normally this is really for your sweet tooth. So when you need that taste, you have this. It's the cocoa is extremely healthy for you. So keep that in mind. That's kind of your cheat. Not a cheat, but you never think of it as a diet. It's just, this is what I'm eating to be healthy. It's like the avocado. This isn't, I don't mind the taste of it anymore, but if you don't like the taste, it's very healthy for you. So it's funny when you think of things in health terms. This is healthy, that's healthy. You end up, you don't mind it. Like if you go to the doctor who wants to give you a steroid, you don't taste it, but you know it's healthy for you. Or he gives you a shot, you don't like it, but you know it's going to make you healthy. So that's why you do it. So keep that in mind. This isn't about what tastes good. The taste you can make in your steaks. Now, what I do for when I make steaks or burgers, when I make burgers, I use Ken's Italian. Never get the low fat, always get the regular. Yeah, there's a little sugar, but that's okay. I find you probably need a tiny bit of sugar. It's the high fructose corn syrup that's killing you. That's what's killing 100 million people on diabetes is the high fructose corn syrup and the carbs. It's the sugar in your body. Your body freaks out and it can't deal with it. And the cells get full of sugar. Then they put you on insulin, which is useless because they pump it into you, but your cells can't take it because the cells are full. So where are you trying to put the insulin? That's what kills you. Then that goes into your body and it's got nowhere to go and you're fucked. So what you're doing here, by doing the fast, you're letting the guy clean you up and he opens your cells up. He gets rid of the sugar. And by you not putting more sugar in, there can actually go proteins and vitamins and minerals into your sugar, into your cells. And that's what you're trying to get. So right now you're reducing the pile and now you have very little in it. That's why you've gotten rid of your fat. You'll just see, you'll drop weight like I don't even weigh myself. I went from 44 waist pants to 36 waist pants in 3 or 4 months. I never thought of it as a diet. I don't know what I weigh. I don't care what I weigh. I weigh whatever I need. I'm in 36 waist pants. But psychologically, I get into okay, I'm there. I didn't have a goal, but psychologically, my goal was to get my blood pressure to 120. It's 124. So that was my goal, was to get my blood pressure down from 180 to 120, and it worked. Not anything to do with weight, but by cleaning out the sugars is what helped me, and that's the key. You don't even think about 18 hours, Nick. It's got nothing to do with that. What you're thinking of is, oh, it's 12 o'clock, I can eat. Oh, I got to eat dinner by 6. I'm having steak tonight. I'm having ribs tonight. Just you can't put barbecue sauce on it. So you make up a little concoction. You either put the Ken's Italian on it, maybe the Ken's French on it, put a little olive oil to mix it in. If you want lemon, if it's maybe chicken or fish, you mix that. Like I'll put olive oil and lemon on certain things. Meats, I usually put the Italian dressing. And then I put my spices on it. Basil is very sweet. And then garlic and salt and pepper. If you want turmeric, I have that. That's supposed to be good for you. So a lot of salt and pepper, but that's fine for you. And then it tastes fine. And then I use the Ken's French as the ketchup. I put that on the plate. I dip my steak in it when I'm eating it, and it tastes fucking great. The French is very good. There's a little honey in it, I think. And that's how I eat my steaks, my roast. Very tasty. Hamburgers, as I said, I make them. I eat them I put them in my omelets. They're unbelievable. The meat and the egg together is unbelievable. You bake the last 5 minutes, but it's just, oh, can I eat? I don't even think about it. I don't think about anything about hours. I just think, oh, it's noon, I can eat. Well, today I didn't eat till 1:30 because I had to get to the job thing. Then I had to go I got my tires, and then I ended up at Walmart's getting my dark chocolate. So I killed 3 birds with 1 stone today. And I'm happy I got my tires changed before the metal was sticking, was like you could see it. I'm like, oh, fuck, I better get it. And I hadn't, these are brand new from the factory. I got 55,000 miles on it. So it's like, okay, before the shit hits the fan, I probably should get tires. So I got all that. And so it wasn't like, oh, it's 12 o'clock, I got to eat. I wasn't that hungry. And then, but I did a 46-hour fast Friday and Saturday. So it's gotten all the shit out of me. And it's good to do that every once in a while because we're all going to cheat. It's not cheating. You can go have a chocolate muffin. You can have a little bit of ice cream, a little piece of cake, but just have the one and that's it. That's why I don't buy the pack of Oreos. I'd eat the whole fucking thing. But if I want the 6 Oreos at the gas station, I'll get the little, and then that's a treat. But that's not often. That's once every 5-6 months. I mean, very rarely. But the problem is you get into the mental aspect of, oh, I can eat that. So you got to, when you're first doing this, I even threw out my Crystal Light, all my ketchups and barbecue sauces, all my cereals. I just threw them all out. I can't have carbs. I can't have high fructose. And man, did that work. I'm telling you, keep up with a little exercise. Either go to the pool and walk or run in the pool, swim if you can, do your hot tub. I get on the bike for 20 minutes at the club, then I go to the hot tub, then I run or walk in the pool, and then I go back in the hot tub, and then I shower and go home. The only problem is if I'm on late and I don't get a chance to eat dinner, I'm confused because I want to eat dinner by 6, but wait, I was on here, I had a late lunch. I haven't had dinner and it's 8 o'clock and I don't know what to do with that. So I've been that's why I'm eating now. I apologize. I don't mean to be like, what the fuck the guy's eating on that. But, I'm so fucked up that it's already 2 o'clock and I'm finally eating an avocado and an English muffin and a coffee. And I had a banana, and bananas are supposedly good with gout, I hear. I don't know. So I got a few bananas. I normally don't because they're pretty high in carbs. I got to be careful with watermelon and those kind of foods. But cantaloupe and honeydew are okay. But again, it's got to be not too much, not even every day, as your treat. So you got your window. So I eat breakfast. It's noon. Theoretically, it's noon. I can eat. Oh, I'm in my eating window. So at 3 o'clock, I might grab something. At 4 o'clock. 6 o'clock, ideally, I want to eat my steaks, my roasts, my hamburgers, my barbecue chicken, whatever. And then I'm done. And then turn on the TV. I do my football. Now I'll do my basketball. I'll read my economics. I'll go on YouTube and see these pink bailouts and all that. And then then I get to sleep. And it's good because then you sleep in. And then it's 7, 8 o'clock. You're at work. You have a coffee. And then you're just waiting for noon to eat. And without eating the Fritos and Oreos and the ice cream and the pop, you're not that hungry. Yeah, and once Nick gets a week into it, he won't be hungry. I'm glad Nick's doing it. Bobby does it. I do it. Believe me, a lot of people are doing it. On the guy I showed you, Dr. Stan Enberg or whatever. He's a holistic and one of these type of doctors, but he explains it so well. And he's a decathlete, in the Olympics. I think I can trust him. Anyway, so that's what you're just really trying to get healthy, but you don't know it. There's so much shit that we have no idea. We're getting so fucked between the high fructose corn syrup, the gold price being manipulated, the banks being bailed out, all this bullshit that's happening, and we're clueless. We're investing and we have no clue. My point to all this shit is you have to understand it. I had an idea yesterday. It's like, if you don't play if you don't understand. Don't play craps. Don't play poker. Don't play. If you don't understand the game and how to win at it, don't play it. If you don't know what you're doing investing, don't play it. Don't have somebody else do it. And then when he loses your money and you're going to get mad, then what are you supposed to do? You can't blame the other guy. It's just ridiculous. Sorry, I got to put my foot up. So, I mean, you can't go around blaming your broker who's a salesman. You can't blame the salesman. Well, Nick, I'll tell you, you gotta be careful how they cook it. You'll be surprised. You'll tend to do more cooking. I cook most of my meals at home. A, it's very expensive, the steakhouse. B, you don't know what you're getting, and you really don't want to have too many baked potatoes. And you got to be careful when you get the salad at a place, what kind of dressing they're using. I know when I go to my rib place and I get a salad, I've told the guy to get Ken's, and I think he's gotten Ken's Ranch. But you got to be very careful. Like if you go to a Coney Island type of place and you get a salad, you want to bring your own dressing. You want to bring your Ken's dressing in, I'm swearing, because they'll put it, it's just sugar. I remember going to a hamburger place. It was a snowy day, and I saw the place. It's right next to the coin store, and I said, I'm hungry. I don't want to cook. I'll get there, and I got a steak, which was it's not a steakhouse, and then they gave me a salad, and then I got the French, and it was Catalina, and it was. I got home, I had such a craving because it was probably all sugar. So be aware when you go out. You almost want to bring your Ken's salad dressing. You got to be careful on baked potatoes. I mean, it's good to get a salad, but use your dressing. The baked potato, it's fine with butter, but be careful. Don't get the sour cream, but the butter's fine. You can have butter and salt, but be very careful what they use on it. I don't know what they're marinating it with. I don't know. Maybe it should just be salt and pepper, and then be careful. If you go to a barbecue place, about the barbecue sauce is very sweet. Those are the little things you got to be careful with. But when I go there, I bring my salad. If I know I'm going to the barbecue place, I will bring my salad dressing. And I've talked to my silver buddy who owns it. He's fine with it. He doesn't care. I says, "What, are you trying to kill all your customers with this high-fat salad dressing?" And he actually listened and brought in Kraft, at least one Ken's to give you. So I give him credit for that. It's important these restaurants understand health. If I knew more, I'd just open up one of these restaurants, which is what I'm telling you. We wouldn't have any carbs. It'd be all vegetables, some fruit, and it would be all steaks, burgers, roast chicken, salmon. It would all be high protein foods. And that's what I would serve them. And you want an omelet or you're getting a steak? What do you want? But yeah, I mean, you'll be going to the steakhouse. The steaks are fine. You just make sure you do it in your window. So if your window is going to be 12 to 6, Nick, you make sure you eat it by 6. Now, it's not a law. Yours might be like Bobby's is 10 to 4. Okay. You can go and do 2 to 8 if you want. It's better if you do it earlier. Like you should end it by 6 and then go noon to 6 because you're at work. So noon, you're going to want to eat. If it's 11:30, it's okay. Because if you're on it all the time, it's okay that you don't, right? It's 11:30 and I'm going to eat. Okay. Maybe eat your dinner by 5:30 if you can. And if you can't, okay. But you're going to be clean enough, staying away from the sugar and doing 17 hours. Doesn't have to be 18. You're building up to 18, but it doesn't have to be. And like you're trying to get used to it. If you have to eat at 11:30, if you're going out for a business lunch and it's 11, they're taking you out at 11. Okay. My problem is when I meet Jenna on vacation. So we're in Lisbon at a nice hotel, They serve the fucking buffet between like 6 and 10. Well, now what do? I don't want to eat till noon. That's when you're kind of, you just got to realize you're on vacation. Now, I still ate the bacon and eggs and the ham and the turkey and the veggies. So I ate healthy. And then I'll take like the apple and the banana up to the room and have that a little bit later in my window. But it's too hard to, I can't go to Jen and we got to eat dinner at 4 now because we had breakfast at 10. I'm not going to do that. She's in a fucking war wearing I'm Ukrainian shirt. The last thing I'm going to do is say, well, we got to eat at 4. So I leave it to her. She handles the restaurants and what she wants to do. I said, just give me time to hit the pool and take a hot tub and that's, stuff like that. And like I did the football videos on the weekend from Portugal during that, just before Thanksgiving. So I did that. And she was fine. She just went downstairs, had a cigarette. And I did a quick 45-minute football video at 8 a.m. Portugal time. So I got some new viewers. I don't know if they're from Europe or not, but I was surprised. I had chat at, it's 8 a.m. in Portugal. You guys are all sleeping. And I got, it's like probably 2 a.m. for you guys. I got guys chatting with me. I'd never heard of them. I was like, yeah, fine. Picking up customers all over the world. But that's how I did it. So that's the only thing that'll bother you, Nick, is if you go on a vacation where normally they give you the buffet, right? And, it's the morning. You just want to wake up, go eat your breakfast at the hotel. You don't want to start looking for a place unless you're like, in Vegas where you can go eat later or something, right? I don't even know if they have buffets in Vegas anymore. So you're really trying to find, if it's like I stay at the Tuscany sometimes and they have that normal coffee shop and I love it. And so there I can go at noon to the coffee shop. It doesn't matter. So I normally wake up late, go to the pool, and then I'm ready to eat. But you'll be surprised sometimes if you don't look at the clock, especially in Vegas, you don't know what time it is. If I'm not hungry, I'm not hungry. And you'll find the weight will just fall off of you because you're giving it time to get out. You're getting the sugar out of your body, and then you're just not eating as much, basically. And without the sugar and the carbs, your body's hungry. It's eating your fat, which is stored food, and it's cleaning your cells, cleaning out the sugar. So all of a sudden, you're not nearly as hungry. You're not nearly as you're not nearly any problems. You're fine. So that's the point of it, and you'll love it. You'll feel better. You'll basically will fix yourself. Your girlfriend or wife will love you because you'll be a lot more active. Let me put it as clean as I can. You'll be far more active with your girlfriend / wife. You get rid of all the bullshit, no dementia. When you do one of these 72-hour, you actually get a stem cell. So your body actually absolutely cleans you. As I said, with no sugar in your body, you can't get cancer. You won't get dementia. You won't have any heart problems or strokes. You won't have diabetes, which is what causes everything, because your body's just getting rid of your sugar, which helps your liver and your kidney. Your liver's your filter. If you think about a water filter, when you pour the water into that pitcher and it has the filter, that's your liver. So you keep it clean. So the sugar and the alcohol is what clogs it up. You keep that clean, and your kidney just, you piss everything out. And it's fine. I don't know why my foot's acting up because of diet fucking Pepsi, but probably because I'm very clean. So I noticed I was getting a little heavy. And really, if you start getting heavy, you just go back to the drawing board and do a 48-hour fast and cleans your body. It gets that cravings out. It gets the sugar. if you eat it once in a while, you're okay. But there's like two phases. The first phase is what Nick's on, 18 hours a day, do a few months. I lose my weight. I feel much better. I look much better. Then I get down to my ultimate, my blood pressure is 120/80. My blood sugar's down. I feel great. Now, at that point, then, okay, I'll add a piece of cake. It's my birthday. I'll have some ice cream. I'll have a drink, one. And then that's it. So on Sunday, I had ice cream. It's my birthday. And that's it. Then you go back and now you stay on schedule, but you allow that Sunday, I'll have whatever. I'll have a piece of cake. But that's phase two. Phase one, you clean yourself up. You get your blood pressure to 120. Then as a treat, you can do that. That way it feels more normal. But I would not get M&Ms or that. I'd still go with this as opposed to M&Ms and Kit Kats or Fritos and Doritos. Yeah, you can have a bag of Fritos, the little ones that are now $2.50 at the gas station. After a workout, it's within the, Saturday, I get my Chinese food. Man, I stop for my Diet Coke. Yeah, I'll grab a Fritos or something. It's my treat, but I've already worked out, and and then I'm back to my 18 hours. So that's kind of phase two. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm down, and I never tried to lose weight, but I amazingly am back to my 36s, which is what I want. So that's how you think of it. It's not a diet. It's nothing to do with a diet. A diet to me is you're withholding things. I can't have cake now. I can't have. You don't even think of it in terms of sugar. I can't have candy and cake and ice cream now. That's the diet. You eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You don't even know what you're doing. And then, okay, I'll stay away from, I won't have pop or beer or alcohol. And you lose weight. And then you lose your weight. And then you go back to it. Well, you don't understand why you lost the weight and why you're doing it. So if you just stay on this, and it's not a diet, it's a piece of cake. I mean, I've been like this for, I think, 2 years now. I mean, I did this a year before Alabama. I've already been back almost a year now. I went, November. So it was a year Thanksgiving since I was at Alabama. So now it's like a year and a half. So I've been on this for like 2.5 years. And when I want, I have a piece of cheesecake or a chocolate mousse, a little, like Walmart's has it's a little container of chocolate mousse about this big, just enough to like, yeah, that was good. So you buy one of those, you eat it, that's your treat. And so you just can't buy a whole fucking cake and eat, because I'll eat the whole fucking cake or the whole thing of Oreos. And then you stay away from your cereal. So it's basically, I can eat at noon and it's going to be an omelet and it's going to be an avocado and a cup of coffee and some chocolate. And then if I feel hungry, I have that. But normally the omelet, and if you put meat in it, fills you up. And then you're having dinner at 6:00. You make a nice steak or chicken or a salmon or a hamburger, or maybe make ribs, and you're fine. It's just, you got to be careful when you eat out and get the ribs, and the sauce is all sugar. So that's what really, I think, triggers it. I got this New Year's, my doctor said, and I said, yeah, I went to ribs because they don't have the fucking buffet at the casino anymore. So I stopped to get the ribs, chicken, barbecue, had some Diet Coke at the thing, and I got the gout. So the key is this sugar in the barbecue sauce on the ribs. I got to be careful with. Maybe I just get the barbecue chicken one on there and avoid the sauce, and bring my Ken's dressing instead. So that is, because I try to ask, why did I get it? So really, that's all it is. And you'll see, I mean, Nick, 6 months will pass. You won't even notice it. You'll be concentrating on the baskets. Then you'll be concentrating. We'll start looking at football. And We'll see about the draft. We'll see free agents. We'll get ready for August. And I'm so focused on that, I don't even think about the food. It's just kind of, I better eat something. And then during football, yeah, you'll be nervous because of the games going on, but that's about it. You won't really. I noticed when I was nervous, I would eat more. So now funny, let's say I have an omelet on Saturday or Sundays watching the game, I'm not that, even though I'm nervous, I'm not that hungry. And it keeps my brain functioning. That's why sometimes I have the Diet Pepsi. It really gets me into a groove to focus on the games. Normally I don't need it, but if I'm a little tired, I will put that in. But I'm not as tired driving home or anything anymore. So I used to have sugar at work, or who knows what I had. I didn't know I was doing anything wrong, and then I'd be driving home falling asleep. And I don't do that anymore. I mean, I just, without the sugar and the sugar from the carbs, I never do that anymore. I'm much more awake. I usually stay up later because I'm not tired. Anyway, so that's the health. If you have any more questions, Nick or anybody, let me know. But basically, you're finding the window. And, in the beginning, it might be, you might do a 16-hour fast. Optimal is 18, but you can do 16, or you can build up to it. Just don't eat breakfast, right? So you can eat lunch and dinner. Try to avoid eating after dinner if you can. It's better to eat at 10 o'clock in the morning, have your avocado or an orange or something, than it is to eat after dinner. Like, once you eat dinner and it's 6, maybe even 7 o'clock, you're done. You don't want to eat going to bed. And you certainly don't want to get up for a midnight snack or have any food. Just have water or make a tea or something. Green tea, put some cinnamon in it, put a lemon in it. That lemon really knocks you out. Anything you need at night, I'd say I'd use honey. Just a little bit of honey. Make a hot tea. Just put maybe a half teaspoon of honey. The honey is the sugar. Now, it's still sugar, but it's very healthy. You don't have too much of it because it's still very sweet, but it will knock you out. That's what knocked me out driving home, was the sugar. So if I want to go to sleep, I put a little bit of honey in the tea, or I might just eat it right off the spoon. It certainly tastes good. Or put it in your water, and then you'll find the water will help you. I know I had a hard time sleeping Friday night because I was fasting, and I was like, I was on like 28 hours, and I was like, I had a hard time sleeping Friday, but then I had the Chinese Saturday, and I slept like 10 hours. So anyway, that's what the health is. Just think of the window. Is it time to eat, or, okay, that window's closed, and now let's think about other things besides eating. If I get hungry, it's a tea or a water. Throw some lemon in it. Fine. Do not put sugar in it. And you'll find that once you stop eating the M&Ms, the Oreos, the ice cream and the cake and the chips, all the things that make you hungry. See, they put shit in it to make you hungry. You stop eating that. You eat an avocado, believe me, you are not hungry. After eating this avocado, I am not hungry. There's nothing in this making me go, oh, geez, I need to eat. So keep that in mind. It's just a window. So maybe in the beginning, you might eat at 7 and eat at 10, and then eventually it goes to 6 and noon. And no sweets, no carbs, no high fructose corn syrup. And you'll look on most labels, it'll say high fructose. You look at Kraft salad dressing, you'll see high fructose corn syrup. You go to Miracle Whip, high fructose corn syrup. Barbecue sauce, ketchup, high fructose corn syrup. What you want to get is the ones, they'll have a little sugar in it. You don't want the low-cal ones. You want the regulars, but it'll say it'll say sugar, but it'll be very small, but it won't say high fructose corn syrup. Well, you can't get away from the sugar. It's got to taste good, so you're eating that. But that's why I eat so many vegetables and fruit. There's nothing added to it. So you eat your veggies. You might have the avocado. I don't know if it's a fruit or a veggie. You eat your celery, your collard. None of that's got sugar in it, and that's why you eat a little of it, and you're like, okay. And yeah, I dip it in the French, and you cook it if you want. I put them in my omelets, and then that's your snack. But you'll find you won't be hungry, and you'll feel better. You'll be much clearer, and like I said, then you start going, and then after let's say 2 months. Then I would tell Dick to go on do a 36-hour fast, which basically means eat Monday night, don't eat Tuesday. That's 24 plus the 12 of sleep. So let's say you eat 6 o'clock Monday night, you don't eat Tuesday. You drink your teas, your waters, your coffee. You don't eat Tuesday. Well, that's 24 hours from 6. You wake up at 6. Now you're at 36 hours, and then you eat at noon. So you basically do a 42-hour fast. And all you're doing is skipping one day. And at first, it'll be a little difficult. And then when you do it, you'll go, you're not even hungry the next. Like, it's hard that first day because you're eating. But once you get to the next, you wake up, you're going to be so happy going, God, I did it. Now I'm at 36. And then you're counting the hour. Now I'm at 36. Then lunch comes, and you're almost like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't break it. It's the autography then. The little man's cleaning your whole body, killing all your bad cells, cleaning your sugar. And you're like so excited that it's like getting your car at the car wash, or the maid's in cleaning your house. And you're so excited that you maybe I'll go a little bit longer. And that's what you want to do. So that's really the point of it. And then that goes on to, now you're at 42 hours. Maybe you don't eat till dinner, and you go, I'll do 48 hours. Maybe you do 42, or maybe you do 44. You do it once in a while. It really lets your body, after 18, really clean you. So that's that. All right, let's go to the banks. So what happened? These idiots steal all the money. You got like fourth graders running a bank. They don't know what they're doing. They buy a bunch of treasury bonds. What happens to a bond when interest rates go up? The value goes down. These morons had no idea what they were doing. It's like a Ponzi scheme, but worse. They actually invested. They'd have been better just holding the money. The regulators see it, don't say anything until finally they see something, and they finally go, oh, wait a minute. We better do something. And so just before they do it, all the directors steal more money, give out bonuses. It's like Madoff at the end. He starts giving his son's bonus because he knows he can't pay it. He's got like $100 million, but he owes out $1 billion. So he starts giving out the $100 million, going, well, I don't have money to pay everybody anyway. So that's what he did. Where was I? Yeah. Sorry. So they fuck up, they lose all the money, and so they end up, getting thrown out of business by the regulators, saying you don't have the money to pay off the people, you're closed. And there's people in it that have millions of dollars that aren't getting paid. One lady had 10 million. I doubt she'll ever get paid off, but these people with a lot of money in it. And now this is all startup companies. This is a startup bank. That's the excuse they're using. Chokosted. Hi, nice to meet you. Coco Stead. All right. How are you today? Any questions or comments, please feel free. So we just talked health. Now we're talking about this whole bank scandal. Then we'll get into other things. So they don't know what they're doing. The Fed keeps raising rates, which doesn't necessarily, well, that raises the Fed funds, but it doesn't necessarily raise mortgage rates or auto rates. They're not connected to what the Fed does. And do you think the banks are going to collapse? Absolutely. They already have, because of what I'm saying. So with the interest rates going up, it hurts the banks because the banks are in all these loans that were done at 0% or 1%. Now, when they got to redo the loan, they're going to do it at 5%, and it's too much for them. See, all the banks are basically loaning money back and forth. And when the Fed raises rates, they're all screwed. And then keep in mind, your money's not in the bank. So let's say you have $25,000 in your account. You don't have a nickel at the bank. When you go to the bank and say, I'd like my 25 grand, you won't get it. You'll probably, if you're lucky, it's a good bank, you'll get 10 or 15, and then they'll say, well, you got to order more, which is what happened to me when I liquidated my IRA to buy gold. It had to pass through my bank. It had to go from E-Trade to my bank, Fifth Third, and then I ran into Fifth Third when it was there. They give me my money. It was like 25 grand, so I took 10 or 15, ran to buy the gold with it, and then I took another 5 or 6 and left like 3 or 4 grand in the bank. Just assume that your money's not safe in the bank. You want enough for rent, and that, depending if you're working or not. If you're working, your paycheck should cover your expenses. You maybe want 5,000 in the bank. Anybody with 100,000 or more in the bank's out of their freaking minds. It's not safe. They will close and you will not get it. So do not leave your money in the bank. CPI numbers are out tomorrow. What are your thoughts? I don't pay attention to the consumer price index or the producer price index because they're manipulated by the government. So the first thing is I don't trust the government. They've never told us the truth yet. This bailout's more proof. What the fuck are they bailing these companies out? If I'm an idiot and I go bet football at MGM and I lose $1,000, do I go to the feds and saying, hey, can you give me the 1,000 back? I made some bad bets and I lost, but why don't you replenish me? These are the most crooked people in the world. JP Morgan, it's BlackRock, it's this other guy who owns Venator, who runs the Vegas. I think he runs MGM. Well, he's got a lot of stock in it. It's Soros. It's all the people we hate because they're trying to control us and basically ruin our country. And so I don't trust the CPI. All I can teach you is what inflation is, which is the devaluation of the money. They just print another $250 billion to bail out this bank. That's more money printed. That's the inflation. The effect of it is it takes more money to buy goods. That's why the prices go up. But they're not even including everything when they do the CPI. They're not including food, energy, and transportation. Well, what does that mean? So I'm not including everything. And then you think they're actually telling you the right number. There's no way, because if they give you the real number, you're going to vote them all out of office. So they make it look like it's okay. In reality, it's not even close. In reality, nobody wants the dollar. If you look at BRICS, there's countries right and left joining it. Nobody wants American money. Nobody wants it goes out. So I don't care what the CPI number is because I don't trust it. But I know with the inflation, prices will go up if they can. So my example has always been my Camry. I'll go get the oil changed at the Camry dealership because I give them football picks for free oil change. And so when I'm there, the new price of the Camry is $30,000. I bought mine at 24. Market's 24. He's selling it at 30. Guess what? You're not selling it at 30. Nobody's buying it. So he's got to lower his price to market. So as long as market stays, I don't care what the price is. It's not a real price, and I'm not going to care about it. So I don't think you can measure inflation by the CPI or PPI. You measure it in how much freaking money you're printing. Now we go back to 1930 Germany, and you got a wheelbarrow to buy a milk and a bread. They printed like a $10 billion a day to try to save it, and all it did was it made it go out. Nobody wanted it. It had no value. The key is, do people want your money? And with these bank failures, people are going to wake up. I don't know why they didn't. They're going to wake up and go, oh shit, our money's not safe in the bank. See, everybody thinks they'll just bail us out, right? They'll bail out JP Morgan Chase, and they'll bail them out, and my money will be safe. And I got to this FDIC. Believe me, if it goes to where they need the FDIC, there won't be any money in it. They'll be screwed. The banks get bailed out because they elect the officials. The banks control the governors, senators, and Congress. So of course they're going to say, "Oh, we'll bail you out." Remember, JP Morgan owns the Fed, so JP Morgan's going to bail out the banks because it's in their best interest. And then JP Morgan got something out of this. They benefited from it. So keep in mind, JP Morgan's the bad guy here. They're the Nazis. Don't forget that. Scary times we're in. That's why I tell you to buy gold and silver. Gold and silver is so close to going. Gold was up $50 today on the fucking fake COMEX. Let's see what it's at now. Just curious. Why do you suppose that is? Because people are getting the hell out of the banks and buying as much gold and silver. But the problem is finding it. Right? So let's go. Let's see what gold's now doing. Gold price today. It was in the 1900s. 1916, up $49, right? Nothing but up. That's the futures. I go to this other to kind of get today's. And silver's up $1.16, which is a joke. The most undervalued commodity. You can see gold on here is 1912 up $44. And even look at the 10 o'clock. The 10 o'clock did not go down. It went down a little. You can see it went from 1906 to 1899 at 10 o'clock. That's it. Normally it's a big drop and then immediately up and up and up and up. So this is beautiful for gold, right? Even on NASDAQ, 1911, nobody wants to short it because if you do, you're fucked. So basically, that's your out. Now, I talk a lot about competition because I talk a lot of Austrian economics. I don't know how much you've been with me here, but it's nice to have you here. This is a class on Austrian economics because nobody teaches it, and it includes gold and silver. Now, we know there's no demand for this. Everybody's joining BRICS, and the Russians and Chinese are coming out with a gold-backed currency, which means gold's going to go through the roof, and silver's now priced in gold. It's going to go with it. And it's the most undervalued, and it's all corrupted by JP Morgan doing bullshit derivatives to keep the price down, not supply demand as in a Mantle card. If you own a Mantle card, it's $1 million because there's so much demand for Mantle or Mays or Jordan or Tom Brady. There's huge demand. So the price goes with it, right? All these countries joining BRICS, they don't want this. They don't want to be corrupted by the U.S. They don't want to be held at gunpoint by the U.S. They don't want to be, sanctioned by the U.S. They don't want to. They're the ones who have to pay these higher interest rates. Is the foreign. So if you're Germany and you got U.S. dollars, you borrowed them, you have to pay them back. Now you're paying them back at 5.5%. You bought them at 1% or 0%. So you can't do that. I see countries running out of US dollars. They can't afford them. So everybody doesn't want this. Now you can hold, JP Morgan has a monopoly on this, doesn't want to hold it. They don't want you into gold. Your only competition for this is gold. You cannot buy Swiss francs, German pounds, euros, Japanese yuan, Russian rubles. There's nothing Swiss francs. You cannot substitute with another paper fiat currency. The only competition for this is gold and silver. Period. That's the only money you can get into it. When you trade this for gold, you haven't spent a penny. You've just transferred this to the gold, and guess what? This is going to zero. This is going to the freaking moon. It's the biggest no-brainer lock I've ever seen. If this was a football game, this would be a 500-unit lock to buy gold and silver because it can't lose because it's manipulated, one, by JP Morgan, right? They're the ones doing the derivative with London. So as they sell paper bullshit derivatives, not even real gold, they'll sell 1 million ounces of silver and they don't have 1 ounce. And then they buy it, London buys it, and they keep the little game going, and they make a lot of money doing it, I guess. Because nobody in the right mind, if you're gonna short gold and silver now, and then if you do, who's buying it? Who's the idiot buying it when, oh, I don't really, so I'm selling $1 million derivative, 1 million ounces of silver. Oh, let me see it. Well, I don't have them. I'm just selling the paper. And who the fuck's buying it, right? Why would you buy and you don't get any silver? So it's all a scam. It makes Madoff look like a fucking third grader. But thanks to Russia and China, it's going to evaporate because with no demand on that and what you just saw in the bank run, people's eyes should start lighting up going, you know what? I better get out of the bank, especially that lady that lost $10 million. Who the fuck keeps $10 million in a bank? Now, I guess it's a company because that's what that bank does. Silicon Valley is a startup company. So if I wanted to open up, the Profesor, Bitcoin or crypto, I need money. I would go to this bank and then they would loan it to me. They're one of the few ones that would, and they'd loan me the money. And then I'd go. So it's people like that are in the bank. Well, somebody at 10 million, I assume it's not personal, that it was business, but I don't know. And then they showed the list of companies who were the big top 10 holders of this bank. I didn't know any. I never heard of any of them. So it's not like Coca-Cola and Pepsi are there. It's companies that maybe the crypto guys would know them, but I don't have a clue. It's just like this FTX. He went belly up and lost $20 million to the crypto people, and same thing here. There's more and more Madoffs out there, and they're doing it like this. This bank should never have been set up or approved. They don't know what they're doing. They bought a bunch of bonds that all went belly up as interest rates go up. They stole all the money. They took all these bonuses last week, and now they go, oh, we're out of business. Then the fucking government gives them a $250 billion bailout. Well, that's inflation. They're printing more money, again, making it less valuable. So with that said, you want your money in the bank. Oh, banks can't fail in America. Oh, really? We just saw it too. There's another one in New York that did the same thing. They went bankrupt. So now you got two banks going bankrupt. Granted, they're not the regular JP Morgan, Chase, Citibank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. They're not those type of banks, but I wouldn't okay. Why would you keep $100,000 in the bank now? You think you're going to get it out? Do you think it's safe? How about if you took $75,000 out, like I did, and bought gold and silver with it? It's fairly safe. I've got the coins, so you can't fuck around and print them. And if I actually need it, I can go back to the coin store where I bought them and say, here's a coin. And now today he'd give me $1,912 for it. So what's the problem? I have safety and insurance that I know this is going to zero. So I have the safety that when it goes, that the gold cannot go to zero. It's been around since the Romans, for Christ's sake. It ain't going anywhere. And believe me, it's heavily demanded in India, Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, South America, Brazil, Argentina, everywhere that there's dictators and communism and these, look at the players, right? Russia, China. I showed a YouTube yesterday of the Italian mafia being in bed with China and Russia. How about that? They were laundering money in the Italian banks, the Italian mafia. So China's giving them all the drug money and all the illegal money, and the Italian mafia is squashing it. So when I tell you the mafia is running things, that was the point of that video. So the Italian mafia, Don Corleone and Luca Brasi and all those guys, that's the Italian mafia, which we've already seen that movie. So we know they're in bed with Russia and China. We know Bitcoin is Russian mafia and China mafia. They're laundering their money through Bitcoin. So if you think Bitcoin's supply and demand, you're out of your mind. See, you can't fuck with gold and silver. And it's so undervalued because JP Morgan's been holding it down. How much longer can JP Morgan hold it down? Well, it's been 50 years, Professor. They've been doing a good, but here comes China and Russia. So what the U.S. would do is if you wanted a gold standard, like Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi, they went in and killed them. It's an act of war. We're going to kill you. What do you mean it's an act of war? Coming out with a gold standard is an act of war? Are you out of your fucking mind? So that's what the U.S. did, was bully these two countries. And it stopped other countries from trying to do it. But you can't bully Russia and China. That's never going to happen. That's why they keep threatening war. They keep threatening war for two things. One, they're trying to stop the gold standard, which they can't. You can't threaten war with Russia. They'll nuke you. And then, or China, because they're with Russia, even though they hate each other. And then you have, now we want to threaten Mexico with war because of the cartels. These guys want war because they think that's how you get out of a recession. See, back in the 30s, the depression should have only lasted 1 year. You had inflation in the 20s. That's when the stock market went up. They were doing the same thing they did now. They pumped money into the stock market and went from like 30 to 200 in the 1920s. And then the inflation hit. And then they did the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. All of a sudden, the stock market started tumbling because prices went up. And we know what happens. When prices go up, you sell less because that's economics, right? But I won't call it 101. I'll call it economics, a master's level, which is why I say master's level, because I got a master's in it. So I'm not going to give you the 101 shit. I'm giving you a real master's course. And so the more things cost, the less you buy, right? What happens to their stock? It goes down. They don't make earnings. It costs more. They can't make as much, and they don't sell as much. Their budgets are based on 20,000 units, and they sell 10. You can't cover your fixed cost of your plant and equipment and your salaries and your bonuses and all this shit. So what happens is stocks drop. That's what's going to happen now. That's our next phase, is the housing market and the stock market crashing because it's too expensive. Now, when Powell raises interest rates, it does not affect the housing market or the car market. Those are set by the inflation. In other words, if I loan you $20,000 for a car, I'm loaning it to you in inflated dollars. You're going to pay me back in more inflated dollars. Well, I don't want to give you 20 grand and not make any money, so I'm going to charge you. I want to get $2,000, but if I do 3%, the inflation's too high. I can't do it, so I'm going to make it 7%. And at the end of the day, I get 22,000 back because you're paying me back in cheaper and cheaper dollars. So what's the point of lending you money? Which hurts the economy and all that. I mean, these car dealerships are all going out of business, Ford and GM and here in Detroit. Who the fuck's buying a car? So you have that. That's why interest rates go up. It's the inflation. It's not what Powell does. And the same with mortgages. Mortgages are now, 10% for a mortgage. who can afford it. Plus the prices are so high. I'm going to pay $400,000 for a house at 10%. You're going to be kidding me. So I need to sell it, but nobody's going to buy it at 400. I need to lower my price. So I need the money. Nobody, the market's here. I'm up here. Market's, let's say 250. I'm trying to sell it for 4 and add 10% interest on the mortgage payment. The market's here. So I got to go all the way down to the market. You always have to find the market in anything to know what to sell it for. So the market's probably 250 because you're adding the 10% interest rate onto it. And if you're buying a house, do not ever buy a fucking variable mortgage, buy a fixed mortgage. Because the variable, I guarantee you, is run by banks, will go up every year. So you think you're getting in at 2%, the next year it's 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8. If you're in a fixed at 5, it's not going anywhere, it's fixed. So don't get caught into this short-term game. Do it long-term. And this is your primary house. So if you're buying a house for an investment, you're an idiot. But if you do, and you're in the variable thinking, that's what happened in 2008. People without credit were buying houses thinking, oh, I'll buy it at 200, I'll sell it for 3. It's like a stock. It ain't like a stock. People don't have 300,000 to buy a house with. So what happened is they bought a second house, and they, I heard girls in Vegas were doing this. They'd buy 4 houses. The hell do you need 4 houses? Well, one's my house, and then the other 3, are stocks. So I'm buying them for 2, and then I can afford the 2% mortgage rate. And then they didn't sell them. In the beginning, they started selling them. Then they couldn't. Then the variable rate went from 2% to 4%. They couldn't afford them, and they were just leaving them. That's the cause. You didn't do a credit check on the girls. They were buying 4 houses as if they were stocks. They couldn't sell them, and they were just walking away from them. And that, you can't buy houses like they're stocks, right? Stocks, you have a market maker. What's a market maker? So if I own 100 shares of Coke and I want to sell it, I don't need a buyer. The market maker's the buyer. So I just go on E-Trade. I go sell my 100 shares. It's sold. John, the market maker, bought it. He's going to then sell it to the next guy who wants to buy it. So I'm selling to John, the market maker. Then I'm waiting for Fred to say, I'll buy it. And the market maker has to hold it till Fred comes up and says, I buy it. And so a lot of times in these really bad times, can you even sell it? And what are you selling it for? And then there's nobody buying from the market maker. So he either doesn't answer his phone, and you're fucked. You got a stock, you got 100 shares of Coke at $60, and now it's $30, and you can't sell it because there's no market maker to buy it. That's why the market crashes. That and the higher cost because of the inflation, and your sales are down, your finances are down, your financials are down, they're downgrading your stock, you didn't make earnings, everybody dumps. And you know how it gets when the people all dump at the same time. When that happens, that's why the stock market goes down. So people having to sell, not for the right reasons, those are the ones that they need to sell the house. They'll sell whatever they can get, which keeps lowering it. The interest rates don't help, but they're based on inflation. They're not based on Powell. All Powell does, he raises the Fed funds rate, which is what banks borrow from. That's it. And, if he sells it to Germany, let's say, they got to pay a higher rate. So really the Fed selling to the banks and the other Feds in the other countries. That's the point of the Federal Reserve. It's to keep the banks solvent, but they're supposed to be looking at the banks, making sure they're doing it right, and the other countries. That's really what the central bank digital currency is supposed to be, is if Germany wants to sell us Switzerland, they don't need to come to us, and they just do it on the digital currency, hitting a button. That's really the point of the digital dollar. Central bank does not come down to our level, and they're trying to force it. Is ridiculous because there's no way it can handle 360 million people in the U.S. Well, we're all going to have an account at the Fed. Like, we want to trust the Fed. Bobby Bo, what's going on? So this morning I go to the bank. I got money in it. Last night I go to the bank. I go online. I see my money's in. Okay. This morning I go and I walk in. There's nobody in there, and I laugh at the teller, going, "Where's the bank run? I would think there'd be a line out the door with the bank run." She said, "Nope, everybody's fine. No bank run." So you're still open? Yes. Now they're giving me a dirty eye, like, come on, and I'm like, oh, no, I know what's going on. Don't fuck with me. So they're fine. No bank run. My money's in the bank. I went to the grocery store. I went and bought new tires. My credit card works, JP Morgan Chase. My debit card works, Fifth Third. I got money in the bank so I can pay rent and help the girls. Okay, I'm fine. So their excuse was this was a regional bank. This is a bank that lends to startups, to internet companies, to crypto companies. If you looked at who they do, Bobby, if you looked at the top 10 customers, you never heard of any of them. I never heard of any of them. I don't know what the fuck they're all startup companies. This is a startup bank. So they're trying to say, well, no, this isn't like Comerica or Wells Fargo or Fifth Third. This is a startup bank. And they fucked up and they stole money. This is Madoff. They took the money out of the bank themselves and gave it out as bonuses. And then they go, oh, we got to go out of business. And then the Fed's so stupid that they bailed them out. Why in God's name they bailed them out? The only reason is I can think of is to stop a panic. Because once they see that the banks can't be trusted, anybody who doesn't see this and get their money out of the bank right away, they're out of their minds. There was a lady who lost $10 million in this bank. Can you imagine having $10 million in the bank? You're that stupid. And then next thing you know, it's gone. Could you imagine that? This is why I tell you to buy the gold and silver. They can never do that to you. They will not take your gold. They might tax it when you sell it, but maybe we go to Switzerland and don't pay the tax and sell it, but we'll be able to sell it. Now, according to my coin store, they'll give us a check. And they kind of joked about it. Yeah, but then you'll have this currency. And I go, no, I'm going to wait till I have the new currency. And because there's no reason to sell the gold to get this currency. I'm getting out of this currency. That's why I'm buying the gold. So there's no reason to sell it to get more of this currency. I'm only going to sell a little bit. That's why I buy these tenth of an ounces and quarter ounces and half ounces. I can sell a quarter ounce. Gold's at 50,000. I got 12.5. I don't even know what currency. Is it even going to be this? This is going to be zero. They're probably making new money as we speak because they have to come out with an excuse. They're not ready. So they're probably going to say that. There was something I saw on YouTube where this lady's speaking, Congress or wherever, saying it'll be a Friday night thing, and then we need time for the Monday morning. And she said that, and so this is what I'm warning you about. It's going to happen on a Friday night, and then Monday you won't be able to get into your bank. And all of a sudden, you're all fucked. And I'm warning you today, well, I've warned you for the last year and a half, this is what's happening. So you got to get your money out of the bank. I mean, all right, I got 50 grand. I take out 45 of this shit. I go to the gold store, the coin store, buy the gold and silver, say thank you very much. This is going to zero. The gold and silver, even if it doesn't move, which we all know it's going to the moon, even if it doesn't move yet, and I need money, I'm going to be able to go back to the coin store, get the money and go. Now, Bobby, you I don't know if you saw it or not. So I did a gold check. And gold is up $34 today to $19.11 on the bullshit COMEX. And yes, Bobby, your silver is also up. It's up $1.12 to $21.70. It should go back to 24, and then it's going to really hammer. So just so you see, Even on COMEX, gold's back to 19. On the futures, it's up $50, right? One's actual, one's futures. Again, this is bullshit COMEX. So even that, you can see the gold. Now, if there was no COMEX, gold would be up $500 today. After the bank run, most people who understand anything are like, get my money out of the bank, and there's nowhere to go but gold and silver. You don't have another currency to go into. You can buy crypto, but what good's that going to do? Or you buy your Mantle card or your Bobby Bow cards, of course. You can buy that. You can buy your diamonds. But as I'm warning you about jewelry, you don't really want to do that. So you go buy Mantle cards, gold or silver. Bitcoin, to me, it's in US dollars. It's not like gold, or you actually own it. Now I'm hearing they're going to do more power outages. They're planning on blackouts. Jenna has blackouts in the Ukraine now, where she has light for 5-6 hours a day, and that's it. She says, "Oh, I got light, and I can WhatsApp you because I have internet to do it." She says, I was like, "Where are you on my birthday?" She didn't wish me happy birthday. She says, "Well, we didn't have power for 2 days. We didn't have internet for 2 days." And they're being bombed anyway, so that's their excuse. We don't have that excuse. We're not being bombed. Well, we're being bombed by Biden and his idiots. So you mustn't forget, JP Morgan runs the Fed. The Fed runs the government. He doesn't want competition, but he can't hold it back anymore because of Russia. So just put your money in gold and silver, because two things are going to happen. You're going to walk in one day like the lady who has $10 million has zero, and you're going to walk away. The second thing, you're going to lose your money. And then secondly, the gold and silver, you won't be able to find the gold and silver at the price it's at. So if I go in now, it's $2,000. I go in a month. I hear April's the time, Bobby. April is it. You got till April. You better buy it now. Otherwise, you're going to be really mad at yourself, because you're not going to see 2,000 anymore. And you're certainly not going to see 25, 26 for silver anymore. If you watched my show last night or during the day, I think it was last night, I show the gold and silver coins. They're still at the same price. Because I was seeing this gold spiking. Now I can see it is. And what that is people buying, getting their money out of the bank and buying. So this is your ninth warning. You fouled off the 3-2 pitch for the 12th time. You're trying to get to the 10th pitcher. So again, it's 3-2. And again, we know what's going to happen. We know what's coming. It's another fastball, right? So in this case, we know this is the black swan, right? Now they're trying to cover it up by covering them, saying, look, if the other banks, there was another bank today in New York that got bankrupt. And it's the same similar startup type of bank. That's 2. Can we count to 10? Because pretty soon, I'm waiting on my Wells Fargo credit card to wait till they collapse, and then I don't have to pay it back. So this is what's happening. We understand what's happening, and all you can do is get the money the fuck out now, and use gold and silver as your insurance and or investment. It's not normally an investment, but in this situation, it's so cheap. And the Chinese Russian new BRICS currency backed by gold, and the whole new Russian gold exchange, 25 is going to be a joke. Just a second, I got to answer this, but I won't be long. Hi, I'm in the middle of something. Can I call you back in about 45 minutes? Oh, no, you weren't late at all, but I'm teaching a class right now, so I will be a little bit more, and then I can call you. Okay, thank you. So anyway, so it looks like the bank got bailed out and markets are green today. Yeah, I don't understand the stock market being up, or I thought they were down. Let's see. Funny how gold's only up $50 today when we all know it should be up a lot more. So I can't even get like the Dow on here. Let's see this market watch. So how can this possibly be up 150? What I heard is here's their excuse. Well, because the Fed now probably has to lower rates. This is their reason for buying. So they don't understand anything about inflation, that it's eating profits and lowering the value of the currency. They're buying stock because now the Fed will reverse and start lowering rates. They're buying stocks because the rates are going down. These people are out of their fucking minds. What will it take for them for this, to stop? So obviously they're just printing money, and it keeps going and going and going into it keeps going and going. Eat my avocado, Bobby. It keeps going and going. It's a joke. What are you buying? I don't know. I don't care. Again, that's the Dow 30, which are all crooked BlackRock and JP Morgan stocks, Amazon and the like. So they don't count. The rest of the world, all their stocks are down, I'm sure. Yeah, it's my daily routine. I came on a bit later because I had to go to the unemployment office to register for work so I could get paid. And then, so with that and Social Security, I'll be good until football. And then then I got new tires on the car today. And then I stopped at the grocery store to get my dark chocolate, my 90%. So Nick started his 18-hour day. How was your fast? Did you how far did you get? You got to quit wimping out at 24, Bobby. You need to skip a day. I'd love to see you like Wednesday or Thursday, just skip the whole day, drink a lot of water and tea, pee it all out, and then just let the little guys and let your photography work. They'll give you a stem cell if you need it. It's an amazing thing. Like people want stem cell. You don't need it. Just do photography. Just fucking fast for 70 hours. You'll have a stem cell. Anyway, so these banks. So when the Fed raises interest rates, it costs the other Feds money, all the other countries. It doesn't raise houses and cars, right? That's based on inflation. The CPI, as we're being told, will come out tomorrow. I don't care. It's not going to be real. Again, politics is about being reelected, not about real. So if the number's 12, what are they going to say? 12? No, because they don't want to have a riot on their hands. So I'm planning a trip to Spain, right? I don't know when yet. I'm waiting for Jenna to say. And I'm hearing all these protests, like 1 million people in Germany and a ton of people in Spain and 1 million people in France are all protesting this whole bullshit, the higher energy cost, the inflation, all this NATO bullshit and war. They're like, what the fuck are we going to war with Russia for? Why is there, nobody understands it. What do you say? Well, because Biden wants a war to get over the inflation he's caused. So they're trying to blame the pandemic and they're trying to blame the Russian war, which they started, and it's between Russia and the US. And they're trying to say, oh, no, it's the Russian. That's why I think, because they still think inflation is higher cost, it's higher prices. And as I've stated 1,000 times, It's the diminishing value of the dollar is inflation, not higher prices. That is the effect, not what it is or the cause. Cause is you print too much fucking money. You just printed another 250 billion to bail out Madoff Jr. here. What the fuck are you doing? And then so I heard a speech today. He blamed Trump for deregulating something. So it's not the bank's fault. They were deregulated. Well, if you let the free market control it, you couldn't do this anyway, right? The market controls it. That's the problem with these Keynesian communists who are in charge. They don't get it. If me and Bobby are running the Bobby Bow Shoe Company, and here comes Tiger and the boys in Nike, we have a fight. We compete. It's clean though. If Tiger does something wrong, we take advantage of that because we got LeBron on the Bobby Bow shoe. So that's how we counter Tiger. But it's between Bobby and Tiger to compete to make the money on the shoe. It's got nothing to do. Government doesn't need to put their foot in. If anything, Tiger will pay the government and the government will hurt us. That's the problem with now. It's not Austrian economics running everything. That's why you have the banks doing it, because they get away with murder, because they know the fucking communists are going to back them up and give them a $250 bailout because they're fucking idiots. They stole all the money. They were doing bonuses last week. And now, oops, we don't have any money. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So what you have is it's insane. It's not free market. It's not capitalism. It's communism. This is a woke bank doing startups for these crypto companies and these internet companies in Silicon Valley. So if this was a Profesor bank, as a conservative, as an Austrian economist, and we got the Bobby Bow, and we're not woke. We're trying to help everybody, right? Would they have bailed us out? Hell no. And the difference is we're a company. We're not a bank. Would they bail out the Bobby Bow company? No. They only bail out banks, which is incredible. But then they slide all the money under the table to JP Morgan. Well, JP Morgan just prints money, right? You go, let's go print $10 billion. And okay, everybody, vacation. We're all going to Hawaii. And let's put $2 billion in our stock. So the stock goes up. And we'll buy more gold because I'm keeping the price of gold down for us. So let's go buy our gold at 1,900. I'll keep the price down until we can't buy anymore. And then I'll let it go and we'll all make a fortune. So another beautiful play by Morgan, keeping the price down so he can buy it and make another fortune when it goes up to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 an ounce. YouTubers are now once again saying that the bull market has begun. The YouTubers. Anybody in particular that we know, Bobby? Which morons are we talking about? Let me know. This is the problem. Shake my head. These fucking guys just go back. Because how do they make money? On commissions. So it behooves them to say it's dropping. It behooves them to say when it's down to buy, they make money on the commissions, right? That's the game. And it doesn't behoove them to go into gold. So when the market's down and you just had this bank problem, so they're not stupid. They know people are getting their money out of the fucking banks, right? They understand that, as we do, right? Why would you keep $100,000 in the bank today with all that shit that's going on? And I'm just waiting. So I went into Fifth Third today and they go, oh, we're fine. Oh, Fifth Third won't go under. And I'm like, oh, really? And I was born yesterday and I'm a fucking moron. I'm not going to get this because I don't know who this is. And that's somebody selling me. I keep getting calls from the police. Well, can you donate to us? And I go, yeah, as soon as I'm back to work, I'll donate. Go buy gold. Then you won't have to beg me for money. Ah, fuck! I lost my train. So fucking phone. Sorry about that. Where was I? So where was I, Bobby? They be looking to our metals. Oh yeah, that's where I was at. So basically, people are getting out of the banks, right? Because they know they're all going to tumble, right? This one, there's two today or Friday and today. Now they can call them, well, these are startup banks. Oh, they still fucking want to. Do you think this isn't happening at every fucking bank? Come on, man. Anybody with this is fucked because they raise interest rates. They lowers this value. Raising interest rates does not stop inflation. It doesn't do anything. The only way you stop inflation is by stop printing money, which they can't do. And they just printed 250 billion to bail out this bank. So how the fuck are they? How is inflation going to go down? So to answer your question, Chuck Osted, that's why I don't care about the CPA numbers, because the CPI number, they're not correct. They're not going to say it. They're going to say, oh, look, inflation's good. Vote us in again. It's all about power. It's all about being voted in. So they can't look bad, and you must understand that. So therefore, you can't trust these numbers. So please don't trust them. Real inflation numbers between 15 and 20%. If not, I've seen 30% on some people. So understand, once you print and you inflate and you lose the value of this, it's gone. I was looking at something on the Romans. It's called debasement. 68 AD to 500 AD. Nero started it, burned houses of wood to put up marble, sort of like Biden. Silver and gold was 100% coins. That's what the Romans used. Silver and gold coins. How the fuck? Wow, what amazing. The Romans, of all people, used silver and gold to run their economy. And they were the most, strongest economy for 1,000 years. Gold was 100% gold. Then silver and gold was less than 100%. Debasing. Gold was less than 100%. That's inflation. This isn't like gold, but well, there was gold back, right? Remember, until 71, this was basically gold standard. You take it off, you're debasing it. Now, with some tricky moves by JP Morgan, they've hidden the fact that gold's 50,000 an ounce already, because they're saying, oh, look, we're using fake derivative paper and we're selling a billion ounces of silver that we don't have. Some idiot in London's buying because he's a JP Morgan guy. And look, silver just doesn't have a value. I wouldn't buy. I would stay in dollars. That would be like the Romans. I don't even know how the Romans would do it because they couldn't do derivatives back then. What happened? They fucking went away. They died because their money was worthless. And once your money is worthless, you don't have a fucking economy. You don't have a fucking country. So this is what we're doing right now, right? We're debasing our currency by faking our gold and silver prices. But the rest of the world is not stupid. They're clever. The Russians and the Chinese and the Italian mafia are all clever. And they know to buy gold because they own all the fucking gold. China, 40,000 tons, probably up to 45,000. Russia with probably up to 20,000 tons. Keep in mind, what they tell you is the central bank number. Putin doesn't live by central banks. Putin goes and print. That's why there's inflation in Russia. He's printing as much money as he can. All he needs is 1,800 US to buy the gold. That's what he's doing. He's sitting there. They're pumping out the money to buy the gold. I assume all these other countries are doing the same fucking thing because they don't want to be in US dollars. So as everybody leaves the US dollar, bye-bye. Saudi Arabia, it's no longer the petrodollar. These are all the black swans. And then you got bank runs. So now the people are going, I better take my money out of the bank. Where can I put it? Stocks? Really? Gold and silver? Yes. Bitcoin? Maybe. I got three choices. I'll do the German 3 in what was that movie? Glorious Bastards. Give me 3 whiskeys instead of he did this instead of that. How the fuck can the guy go in Germany and not know what 3 is? And why would he put his fingers up? Just say, yeah, give me 3. What do I care? Oh my God. This is how you got caught by being that stupid? Lost a lot of respect for that guy after that movie. Anyway, so you have 3 choices. Well, you're going to be dead in stocks. Oh, buy real estate. Yeah, that's a great thing to get into now with interest rates at 10%. I want to run and buy a house so I can lose 200,000 on it. Bitcoin, well, really, what is it? If I lose power, I can't get to it. And it's in US dollars. So when this goes to zero, Bitcoin goes to zero. How do I get to the Bitcoin? I have to transfer it to somewhere to collect it. So me and Bobby we got our silver, and we go to the coin store and we get $2,000 a coin, and we go buy food, and we go to the barbecue, and Bobby gets pig's ears, and we get our groceries, and we pay our utilities and our rent. What are you gonna do with Bitcoin? How are you gonna get it out? Oh, well, move it to the bank. Well, is there banks? I assume there's banks because they want to collect on the transactions, right? So the bank's going to want to make their money, so they're going to do what they need to do. So you'll never get rid of the banks because they need the money for the transaction costs. Plus, they print money when you deposit. I don't know anybody who's going to run to the bank to deposit money. You get your paycheck, you leave your bills in, you take the rest out, and you go buy silver at 25 an ounce. And soon we'll be buying islands in the Pacific with it, or the Caribbean. In the Caribbean, Bobby, you're on the Caribbean side of the world. And that's what we'll do. That's the only play you can make. Why is Bitcoin? Why would you be in Bitcoin? You want to be with the Russian mafia? Is that the safest place? There's no reason Bitcoin goes up or down. Supply and demand, they say. Maybe, but I doubt it. Okay, so say you go into Bitcoin, but you don't have it. And if there's no power, you're fucked. And they're looking at doing these power outages. Or that's what this whole snowstorm was a test. Okay, we lost power. We did it again the next weekend. Now, I didn't lose power. I lost internet. So whatever the internet's hooked up to lost power. But they lost fucking power. Now I can go to the gas station. I can go to my car and charge my phone so I can watch my phone on my TV because I don't have internet. But fortunately, I've never lost the power. But that's what they're planning. So you want to be without electricity? How are you going to do your internet? Well, I guess by the phone you can do it. But where are you putting it? I don't understand it. Do I send it to my bank? Then I go to my bank and I go, oh, I got a Bitcoin. I got $20,000. Is that how it works? Too complicated. What do I do with gold and silver? Oh, I got the coin in my hand. Here's 5 silvers. Give me 10 grand. Thank you very much. Off I go. The coin dealer gives me the money, and I go and there's going to be a lot of different places. Bobby, we should look into that. Is opening up a thing where we will buy the gold and silver, because people with it are going to look at, okay, I want to cash it in. Really, where do you cash it in? At the coin store. You don't go to the bank. So you need storage. Maybe you go to we're buying gold and get $500 for your ounce because they're taking advantage. So all the coin stores you can sell it to, but there's going to be more places. And then you make your little charge and off you go. And we'll take another grand to not do 1099s. Say, I don't know who he was. He came in and sold all these. I never saw him before. And we just won't do 1099s. We'll have a pretty big line at our store because people will bring their money, and then we take 5% or whatever to do the handling fee of giving them their money in lieu of no 1099s. So it could be a good business for us. Anyway, that's the INFJ thinking. So you took all your money out of the savings. Oh, I've had all my money out of my savings for a long time. Last year. Um, so now I just have the Social Security check direct deposit, which is going to pay rent and the girls basically. So that and it pays my bills, the rent, the utilities, the pool, the food, the gas, the car insurance, all that is Social Security money. So that's in there. I checked last night. I checked this morning. I went in, no bank runs. They're fine. They didn't like me asking, "Are you still open?" Like, what are we fucking idiots? And I'm not supposed to ask you that question. And I noticed the communist finance manager, financial planner wasn't in. I was going to give him a shit. But as far as I know, the bank's still there. If I need to, I don't know what I do. I guess I'll have them mail me the check. But then where am I going to go? If there has to be banks that remain open, right? All the banks can't close, but all the banks are going to be in trouble. And the big ones, the JP Morgans, you watch the city, the JP Morgan, the Wells Fargo, the Bank of, they'll all get bailed out. They're all in the same, they're all in the same situation. They're all fucked. They don't know where to invest. So when you give them $100,000, they invest that money, right? And it's their money to make whatever they can make out of it. Sometimes they loan it out to mortgages. Sometimes they just say, fuck it, I'm going to buy bonds or whatever. And the problem with the bonds, that's what happened to this bank, this Silicon Valley Bank. They bought the bonds, and when the interest rates go up, the bond value goes down. They didn't understand that simple concept. How do you not understand that the Fed is raising rates? Anything, you know the Fed's raising rates. You know all the bonds are going to zero. What the fuck are you doing, and why would you hold your money in bonds? Although I do remember when I was working at this one place, he'd roll it over every 90 days into this 3-month treasuries. That's what they did. It's probably a government thing. And I always was like, why don't we put it in gold and silver? I would make so many companies so much money if they would have listened to me. But they don't know I'm the professor. Yes, Bobby, I took all my money out, but like now I got like $2,000 in. My Wells Fargo credit card hit on Friday, and the money came out today. I went into Wells. I see it went down. Somebody tried to use my card, which I don't understand. Can anybody explain this? I don't use this card. It's a 0% transfer. So they give me a credit card that I just bury away and don't use, because if I use it, I got to pay that off at 20%. So I never use the card. I use my Chase card. Well, somebody goes on Amazon Prime and does a subscription for $19.95 a month. I get a decline by Wells Fargo email saying, hey, this got declined. Is that right? I go, who the fuck's getting on Amazon Prime, who the fuck's getting my card that I never use? I could see my other card, like I used it to buy tires today. I could see if that card then got, the guy at Discount Tire, wrote it down. Who the fuck is getting my card that is buried in my safe that I never use because it's just to pay, it's a 0%, like 18-month to pay off my card that I got with the moving and the gold and everything else that I said, okay, let's move it over and get 0%. So how is anybody using my card on Amazon Prime? It's not on there. I don't even have an account on Amazon Prime. I have an Amazon account that I've used once or twice, and I don't use it. I don't use it. I don't like Amazon. I don't like the way they put people out of business, and so I just don't use them. So I'm really just shaking my head, SMH, as Bobby would say, and I just don't. I'm like going, how the fuck did anybody use my card that's sitting in my safe and never used? How are they getting that number? And how is this transaction even made? Now, it was declined. Why aren't they using a fucking pin on a credit card? Why aren't we having pins on credit cards? I know they did in Romania, and I was shocked because I couldn't use my credit card in Romania about 8 years ago. When I would try to use it, they'd ask for a PIN number. I go, we don't have PIN numbers on credit cards. Now I know why we should, because this, unless you entered the PIN number or the security code, why didn't they ask for a security code? You couldn't use the card, right? You never could use the card. Like now I have to use the security card on my debit card. Like, so when I give Jenna money on RIA, it goes, they ask for the 3 digits on the back. Why they don't do that for every credit card transaction doesn't make any sense. That would stop the fraud pretty quick, right? Because if you don't have the card, you don't know what the 3-digit is, because you're not seeing that, especially on a card I don't use. So I don't know. I don't know how the fuck that happened. Bobby, by the way, I meant to ask, what are your thoughts on credit cards? Good question, Bobby. Well, they're loans. So I think you should have a couple. I use mine basically to go on vacation, to book the airplane, to book the hotel. And then I use it to pay back. It's a loan. You have to understand that. So if you do ring up 5,000 on it for a vacation, you understand you got to pay it back, but it gives you time. Okay, I got 4 or 5 months to pay it back, because it doesn't even start. So once the cycle ends, you then have 30 days to pay it. So if I'm going to Spain and I use my credit card to book the flight, book Jenna's flight, book our hotel, I really have 60 days to pay it back. I use it to buy my gold. So it's a really a loan, but where you got to be careful is you got to pay it off. And that's really the key to it. That's where people just keep using it instead of paying it off, because then the interest starts and you're fucked, because then you're paying mostly interest when you make your payment. So just be careful of that. Now we're supposed to get the reset where they'll go to the new money. So this goes away. The new money comes out and all of a sudden you don't have a credit card balance because it's in old money. I don't know if it'll go to zero or it gets translated to the new money. This I'm not sure of. Supposedly it's supposed to go to zero, but we will see. But you're also supposed to lose all your money in your bank. So all the money goes to zero. The bank goes to zero and your credit card goes to zero. So we will see if that happens. Who knows? But I don't recommend them. I recommend them smallly to build your credit up, put a couple hundred, maybe you get cash back or points. So you go to Kroger's and you buy your food and you buy your gas. And then instead of paying it there, you put it on your credit card, and then you pay the credit card by the end of the month. As long as you pay it off on time, it reminds me of like an MGM card, right? Oh, you can move up a member. Yeah, but I got to play $1,000 of slot machines to get the perks. I'm going to lose $1,000. I'm paying $1,000 to get it. So that's really the difference. You don't really want to do that. So you got to be aware of it. So as long as you buy your groceries and buy your gas with the credit card, with the intent of getting cash back and paying it off and not having a balance, it's good. But if anything happens, all of a sudden, I had to buy 3 tires today. All of a sudden, oh, I got to use the money for that. Now I put that on my credit card. Then you have to understand that that's the problem. So with that in mind, it's a good, like if you need money, you're on vacation and all of a sudden I'm in Spain and the US dollar doesn't work. Or better yet, I'm in Russia and they won't take my credit card either. But let's say I'm in Spain and all of a sudden nobody wants dollars. I don't know if my credit card will work. Probably at the hotel because I've charged the room with it. So as long as I'm able to charge it, like I'll put meals on the room. And at the end, I pay it with the credit card. So then if my dollar wouldn't work, I would eat at the hotel for everything and then pay it off with the credit card. So it would be a little of insurance, but if not, like I couldn't go to Russia and use it. I don't even know how I can go to Russia. I can't fly there. And then if I got there, my money would be worthless. So if I go there, it's going to be gold and silver will pay for my trip because my credit card and debit card would be worthless. My money would be worthless. Somehow I need to buy rubles. and or get a different form of credit card to use in Russia, or find somebody in Turkey and PayPal them $1,000 and they PayPal me 700,000 rubles because it's like 75 to 1. That would be that's what I do now with her sister. I send money to her sister in Maryland, and then she has a Russian bank sends her rubles. That's how I'm able to help her. So maybe we need to do that. Here's $500, send it to her. So maybe that's how I would do it. But again, that's not the normal way. But if the dollar goes out, maybe you can use your credit card or not. But it is an insurance. So let's assume we're in Vegas. We need money. We have the credit card. We can use it. Never use it as a cash advance, though. Never use it to get like an ATM and get credit card. They're gonna call it a cash advance, and it's 20%. So you're fucked if you need to use it. Credit card. So from that standpoint, you got to be careful with it. That's what bankrupts most people is you can't afford, you don't have the money to pay it. And then, you need money. You're not working. Normally you're not working. So you pay your bills with the credit card. It goes up. The interest rate on it goes up. And you're basically, you're fucked. So I don't recommend, you have to be very smart to use it, but it is a good credit thing. So I use it, put $100 on it, pay it off. That's fine if you use it, but think of it as a loan, and you're going to have to pay back the loan with interest. That's credit cards. Bobby, have you watched any Egon? No, I haven't seen them on since the last one. I think I showed you our guy on Friday who said, by April, gold and silver to the moon by April. Here's the first black swan. He just said so much is going to happen in March. And by April, see, we don't need the economy to crash for gold and silver to go through the roof. All we needed was this bank to crash. They bail them out and other banks crashed. And these are small little startup banks to get people thinking, I got to get my money out. And they're going to realize their only alternative, Bitcoin, which good luck. And Bitcoin's limited. There's only 21 million Bitcoins, and they're already at 20 million of them or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I don't really keep track of it. But with that said, you got 300 million people in the bank going, fuck, I got to get my money out. Where do I put it? Well, I can't put it in a different currency, which leaves gold and silver as your only alternative, right? That's the point. That's all we want. So the black swan, as I titled, so I was on last night, Bobby, just telling you, look at your bank and call your bank in the morning and make sure you still have money in it. And if you have anything more than $5 or $6 grand, get the fuck out, go get it, put it in your safe, and then go to the gold store and start stocking. A, to protect yourself. B, before you can't buy it at $2,000 an ounce anymore. I mean, look at it. It's already up $50 today. Believe me, this whole week, I bet it hits 2,200 on phony COMEX. What do you think the real market's doing in Russia and China? You're probably at 25,000. If this is real price at supply demand price, right? What really people bought, what really took the market, this thing would have went up $2,000 today. At least. This is my point. This is so undervalued. I can't scream loud enough. Buy it now before you can't get it, especially at this price. So I'm going to go buy silver tomorrow, probably another 20, 25 ounces. I don't care if I use my credit cards for it. But you got to be kidding not to do that. You have to do that. And in worst case, I'm wrong and it doesn't go up. You go back and you say, give me back the dollars. And you pay 20, now it's like probably $25 an ounce if you can find it. My guy didn't have any last time. I bought the gold because he did not have any silver except for the $35 eagles that were actual money. And he had some maple leafs and some Chinese pandas and, but those were all $35. But all the other silver, the rounds, he didn't have any. He had some old ones that I wasn't going to get into because I am a little not. I want to get better condition coins. I want to get as crystal clear mint as I can with the rounds, not old ones that are scratched up that, oh, it's not in good condition. I just want an ounce of silver. You bought all 400 ounces of silver from the same guy? Yes. I got 37 ounces of Highland Mint that I bought in the mid 1990s. Emmett and Aikman and Barry and Rice and Montana, Mario Lemieux and Jordan. But you didn't have a coin, Bobby. I'd have bought in 5 of yous for sure. So I bought 37 ounces of Highland Mints, which are worth way more. They're worth like $80 a coin. And then I have the other 450 ounces I bought from this guy. I think, yeah. Well, yeah. Even in Alabama, I tried to buy them. That's another reason I moved back. I tried to buy them. I couldn't buy them. One guy had it, was only buying them. He wasn't selling them. So if you want food there, you just realize, why would he only buy it and not sell it? He thinks it's going up. Yeah. This was a year ago. So I've been buying gold probably for at least 2 years. And I remember when I took the money out of the bank, I said to buy gold. And I'm trying to tell them to buy gold, and some of them were buying gold. And they're probably bitching at me going, why isn't it going up? He said it would go up. I'm very careful about time, but now I'm saying it's time. This is it. This game, there's 2 minutes. This 2 minutes before the game right now. The game has come, Bobby. We're all dressed. We're in uniform. We're going through batting practice right now for the game to start. And I don't mean Triple H. I mean the gold game. It's very close. You can see it's up $50 today. I think it was up over the weekend. Anyway, it's back into the 19s. And JP Morgan's trying to keep it down. Imagine if they stop doing that little bullshit. And I don't think they can really control it. Believe me, if all those people get out of the banking and buy their gold and silver, it's Katie bar the door. They won't be able to suppress it, and the money will go up. Well, I was watching some wrestling last night. I was watching a lot of YouTube last night. I watched a couple of I watched Ohio State Stanford Rose Bowl with Jim Plunkett. If you get these old football games, they don't have all the commercials that they have on the new shit. I hate the NFL Network. You got 20 commercials in a 10-minute game. It's unbelievable. But I was watching some old games, a lot of 49er stuff. Time to play. It is time. You can drop the glass now, Bobby. Stone Cold is in the arena, and we're about to lay the smackdown on all these guys. So we are very, very close. If it waits till April. Probably after, now I would say it's after the NCAA tournament. They always wait. Like China invaded Russia right after the Olympics ended on Sunday. The war started on Monday. We just had the Super Bowl, which I thought was the kick. Now it looks like it'll probably be the Final Four will be the kick. It's going to be right after something big happens. Nobody gives a fuck about the NFL draft. So it's really the perfect time. Nobody cares about the Stanley Cup finals or the NBA finals. You got the Final Four. Okay. You've got bowling. That's all you got. So you really don't have anything like that going on. And therefore that's where you're at. So I think it's really, really close. But it's a no-brainer. What are you going to? So are you really going to be mad if you're holding gold and silver, and the price doesn't really go? Silver doesn't hit 2,000 ounces. Are you going to be mad with 500 ounces of silver that is going? It's supposed to go up. You're just waiting for it to go up. And if we need to go fly to Switzerland to get 1,000 an ounce, are you really going to be mad that you're holding silver instead of this garbage? I mean, come on. Who wants to hold this shit? Listen to the players, Janet Yellen, Biden, Powell. It's not Boog Powell. It should be Boog Powell. He'd do a better job. You got all these Fauci's, all these idiots in charge. They can't do it. That's why I'm laughing about the digital dollar. It isn't even in test phase yet. How the fuck are these idiots going to make a digital dollar that works? Come on. You got to be kidding. And I'm talking central bank digital dollar. The only digital dollar in existence is Bitcoin, is the cryptos. That is a digital dollar. I don't know what see, people think the debit card and credit card they're not. If I don't have money in the bank, my debit card doesn't work. It triggers from the money I have. The credit card's alone. Got nothing to do with digital. Yeah, I use it electronically, but not digitally. So I'm still trying to figure out what digital is. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. The blockchain's immaterial. That's just a way to convey it. It doesn't. It's like saying Excel's on a computer. Well, big fucking deal. What does that mean? You ever watch the World Series of Poker? I used to when it was on ESPN. I watched it all the time. I love the Aussie, oi, oi, oi. The guy got so lucky, but that's poker. It's all luck. But I haven't watched it recently. I don't know who these players are. And they're all, it's just whoever gets lucky on the final table wins. There's absolutely no skill. Maybe reading a bluff, but it's all, even if you read it right. And, you got kings and he has a pair of twos and he hits the third two on you. Like Joe Hockman, or no, that Joe Cadup from Michigan. I'd love to play that guy. What an idiot. The one guy at Queens, he has twos. And he gets lucky and catches the two-outer. And he wins the tournament. Oh, he's really a good player. He totally misread the guy. The guy had him killed. What kind of fucking poker is that? But I used to watch it a lot more. But tournaments are so boring. I much prefer regular poker. And I won't play online. It's all fixed. They're all looking at your cards. If you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you, but you can't play live. You can't play online poker. Look at Gus Hansen. He lost $14 million. He doesn't understand it's all fixed and they're seeing his cards. For a guy like that to lose $14 million, he's a great player. How the hell can he lose? And how stupid can he be to keep playing and losing when they can see your whole cards? You can't trust computers like you can't trust government. So anyway, yes, I do. I like it. What else? So keep in mind, the banks run the government. So they will bail out if JP Morgan, so these banks are being bailed out, which is what they're supposed to do. However, they're supposed to reel them in if these banks are idiots. They're not supposed to be out there. And then I love the thing, well, this is an unusual bank. It's startups. It's not your rec. So they try to justify that it's a bank, but it's a startup bank. It's not Chase. It's not Comerica. So therefore, don't worry. Don't pull your money out. Yeah, you listen to that crap. Good luck getting your money out. So I just don't understand why you would keep your money in, and I don't understand why how undervalued gold and silver are. I've explained it 100 ways from Sunday. JP Morgan Chase writing derivatives, which are all bullshit. It's all fantasy. So not only is the value not right, so you're going to take advantage of that, but you still have some supply. But it's really the coins that's the supply. It's not the big Goldfinger blocks. Good luck finding those. That's what the central bank buys, right? So they buy a ton. They're buying 100 of the blocks. Like Money Heist, he stole 90 tons of gold. Was all blocks. Not. I could see me and Bobby with our ton of silver and silver coins. We'd be sitting there like, how do we carry it all as opposed to the blocks? But that's kind of what it is. So you got to keep that in mind. It's a no-brainer. It's absolutely no risk at all. If you get out of this is your risk. You get out of this, the banks are controlling you. They're fucking you over. The central bank just printed $250 billion. This has now been devalued to, it's now down to here. because the central bank printed $250 more billion, which loses value of this. Any Meyer bar? What the hell? Any more bars? All right. Are you going to get any? Yeah, I think tomorrow I'll go buy some more silver. I don't know, maybe 20 ounces. Especially if my unemployment goes through, which I won't know till Monday. But I haven't seen any emails that are like saying, "Oh, wait, the one company is saying they're not going to do it." See, if they don't reply, then you're fine, right? It's only if they reply and dispute you, which so far I haven't seen. I get my payment for 20 weeks, but let's see. The Wendy's company is hiring. Well, that's in Ohio. So anyway, no, I don't see anything. So I'm good. I got a letter stating it's just going to be termination without cause, which means more of a personality type. You're the professor. You're an INFG. None of us are on your level. We got to let you go. You're too smart for us, which is basically what happened. So they're not going to challenge it. And I told the guy he's going to be out of business by March. We're in March. Now he had his scare. Now watch the banks start pulling in their line of credit, going, we don't want your line of credit. If they're not panicking at my old company, they're fucking stupider than I thought. Well, anybody's so stupid to, like do the housing thing, right? Where they take the houses, they buy a real dumpy house and they're going to fix it up. That's what this guy's doing with companies. He's buying these dumpy companies thinking he's going to fix them up, but he doesn't even know how. It's not like he has a guy who knows how to fix them up, right? So this GM they brought in, he didn't know. He says, I got to look at everything. I'm like, don't you have the blueprint? Like, here's how you run it. And I'm laughing at the guy. And he wants me to do labor times. I go, I don't know how to do labor times. That's like telling me to go play tennis. I can play golf and I'm pretty fucking good at it, but I don't know how to play tennis. So look at my resume. It says I'm a good golfer, not a good tennis player. So I'm not an engineer, so I don't know cycle times and labor times to do labor rates. Who the fuck cares? You're missing the whole boat. What's the market? What is the market for this shit? Nothing. And I told my boss that. I said, there's no demand for this stuff. This is all, car companies are all going out doing electric cars and these high interest rates. Car companies aren't going to order this shit from you. You think they need this? They need a conveyor belt. You think that's the top of Ford and GM's list is, we better get some more conveyor belts in here? You got to be, who the fuck's going to be buying this shit? Nobody. It's not a need. It's a want. I never heard of this before. I don't know why. If I was, me and Bobby are at the shoe company, we're not buying any of this shit. So you can go walk, you buy like a pallet jack and these carts and you pile it on, you ship the cart over. I mean, you don't need it's so stupid. So good luck with that. It's like trying to sell an electric car. There's no demand for it. Why would anybody want it? Why would you make it? Why would you invest in Tesla stock? So watch Tesla stock go to zero as he's making 1 million units in Mexico. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. Yeah, and who's going to buy these 1 million units? You're going to buy all 1 million of them? Or do you have any bug gold or silver bars that 50 ounces? No, I don't have any gold. I don't have any 50 ounce gold bar. I got a 10 ounce silver bar. But all the gold's coins. It'd be too expensive to buy a 10 ounce gold bar. Would have been $2,000 an ounce, would have been $20,000. I always kept it simple, 10,000 a crack, and just bought it. And I didn't look at the price. I want to own gold. I don't care. As long as I can buy it at under 2,000, I don't price average. This is not a stock. This is about accumulating ounces of gold for the future. This is not about buying it at 1,800 or when it hits 1,700 and then selling it at 1,900. That is not why you buy gold and silver. You've got to be an idiot to do it that way. This is not a stock. This is not, Amazon. This is not the purpose of buying gold and silver. Or you just accumulate the coins only. There, I answered the question before I read it. Just accumulate the coins. You can buy the little bar. There's 1 ounce Credit Suisse bars, gold and silver. There's 1/10 of an ounce gold coins, which I buy, but I prefer. The value isn't good because they're $230, and if you times it by 10, it's $2,300. I buy a few of them, but not too many. Like now, if I'm going to go buy 10 ounces of silver for $250, and there's a 10-ounce coin for $230, I'm going to probably buy the 10-ounce gold for $230 versus the 10 ounces of silver. But really, I should be buying the 10 ounces of silver because let's say $50,000 gold. So I'm buying this 10-ounce coin. It's cost me $230, which is going to be worth $5,000 versus the 10 ounces of silver at $25. That'll be worth, let's say, $1,000. What's my break even? And I think I figured that my break even is $500 an ounce silver equals the 50,000 an ounce gold. But since I think silver is going to 2,000, but let's say 1,000, then it's worth my while to actually buy the 10 ounces of silver. Will outperform the 1/10 of an ounce gold, even though they're virtually the same price. But again, I'm banking on silver to go way higher than gold, but gold might hit 100,000 and silver. If gold does that, you got to figure that 10-1. That means silver's at 10,000. Always keep in mind, whatever gold's at, silver should be 1/10, really 1/8, but let's say 1/10. So gold at 50,000, silver at 5,000. That's the way you do it because that's where the real price is. So if you let it run, nobody can afford gold. Where are they going? They're all buying silver, and that's going to push the demand up, which will put the price up, obviously. So therefore, as much $25 silver as you can get, you should eat. I mean, just buy it. Into the freezer it goes. Get the large Cool Whip so you can put as many in a container. The problem with silver, when you get to 500 ounces, it's fucking heavy. I got it in 2 like shoebox type plastic shoe boxes that I hold my cards in, and it's fucking heavy. I don't know how I'm gonna get it to Europe. If I move to Portugal or Spain, I don't know how I'm gonna get it there. I'll have to mail. I don't know if I can even mail it. I guess I'll just get a storage bin and take, 100 ounces with me. Put a few in my pockets and so when I get to the tray, I take out 5 of these things, put it on the tray, but they get heavy. So that's the only disadvantage. But silver, you shouldn't worry about the 1099. Even if it gets to 5,000 an ounce, then you sell 1 ounce and I don't think. See, here's my thought. What is the market going to be? So how much are pig ears, Bobby? $10 a pound, $5 a pound? Let's go to my ribs for now until you can tell me that. So we know I go to get my ribs at the barbecue place. Well, let's just go to the grocery store. So the grocery store, I want to buy a steak, a New York strip. It's $11 a pound. In this currency, what in the fuck's the market going to be in gold? I have no idea. So when I trade in my silver for, let's call it 2,000 an ounce, I have no idea what the cost of steak's that New York strip for $10 or $11. What's the cost going to be in gold and silver? I'm assuming it'll be like 1/10 of an ounce of silver. I assume it'll still be a lot because it's not inflated prices. If you really took a cost of steak 10 years ago, Or let's go back to 1970, and then, it should be like $30 an ounce, a pound for New York strip, right? It should be 30 if you kept it in what it was in 71 when we went off gold and printed this bullshit. And that's where I don't know, but I imagine that you're going to take an ounce of silver, you get 2,000 somethings, and then with the 2,000 somethings, you'll need 10 of the somethings to buy the pound of steak. So therefore, all you'll need to really do is just sell an ounce or two. So even if it's 5,000 an ounce, you sell 1 ounce, you'll be able to pay your expenses for 6 months. So you really won't need to, like you're worried about 1099. You won't really need to worry about the taxes. You sell one, there's no tax on it, and you'll be able to buy plenty with the ounce of silver. That's when I laugh when I hear, people with silver and gold will be millionaires. In what currency? This won't be here anymore. Okay, we've come out with a new paper currency. Now you'll hear that and you're going to laugh. The US, well, we know Euro and Japan are coming out with new currencies in 2024, meaning our currency got fucked up and it's inflated to zero. So it's no good. So we'll have this new currency, probably backed by air, going to go down also. And, in 2024, but it'll probably come out a little earlier. And the U.S., they won't say it's because of inflation and it lost its value. They'll say, there's been a lot of security breaches in the war in Ukraine. We're coming out with new dollars. It's the evil Russians who are stealing our plates and printing money. It's all the Russian fault. That's why we have inflation. That's why we need new currency. And in fact, they've been printing it to buy gold, although not the euro, but Japan probably, China for sure, Russia for sure, all the African countries. So that's really what you have is what you have to be concerned. So how are they going to revalue it? But that's all you do. You sell as much to keep under the 1099 mark. There's no reason to sell a 50,000 ounce of gold. It should be used to buy a house and a car. And that should really be the point of having the ounce of gold. So you're going to buy a nice $500,000 house. You pay cash for it, or in this case, you pay an ounce of gold for it. He takes it because it's better. It's as good as gold, baby. It's better than dollars. Why would you want dollars? What's he going to do with dollars? He's going to take the gold and you'll buy a new house with gold. That's my plan. And the same thing, if I want a Mercedes or a nice car, I'm going to take a half ounce to the dealership and say, here you go, buddy. And I'll drive off the car. So I won't have to cash them in, get the cash to give it to them. Believe me, at Toyota, the guy's saying, well, I'll cash it in first. You want this shit? And what are you going to do with this shit? Buy Bitcoin with it? No, you can buy gold with it. Well, I'm bringing you the gold, so you don't need to cash it in. So he'll see. These people are so clueless. This is the problem. We're dealing with idiots. And how do we deal with idiots? It's very difficult, especially for INFJs, to deal with idiots. It's very hard for us to comprehend how stupid these people actually are, how they don't get it. Because again, we see things that nobody else sees. And what they're gonna, I don't know what they're thinking about, but they can't, they just can't be this stupid. So eventually, once gold, this is why I say once gold hits 10,000, it hits 50. Because once people see gold at 10, they realize they've been had, they've been made off by the government. They'll get out of their money and they'll buy gold. Like the lady with the 10 million. She's a fucking idiot keeping her money in that bank, unless it was the business account, which I don't know. All I know is she had 10 million in the account and can't get it. So I don't know if it's probably a business account. So she's running a business. She's probably the CFO, had her money in the bank. That's why she had 10 million. I doubt it was a savings. Part of it is probably the investment part of it. I'm buying a building. I need the 10 million or whatever she's doing. But I wouldn't even own a business. I wouldn't even worry about it. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm buying as much gold and silver as I can eat. That's my business. I mean, that's my retirement. That's my life insurance. That's everything. It's just, that's my business is Teaser King, doing this, playing a little poker and gold and silver and my little cards. It's funny. I'm going through my my boxes. I got so many cards, and then I'm pulling out this shit. This is pretty honored. This is $250 PSA 10. This is just sitting there in my boxes. I got so much of this shit. It's unbelievable. What blows me away is you got these two cards, and you think the value would be similar, yet this card's probably worth $200. This card's worth like $70. I don't understand why Larry Bird doesn't have any value. And then I got Magic, and he's worth the same as Bird. So why is Jordan, who's not as good as either of these players, so valuable? He won 6 titles. Not against him. He didn't win shit against him. Played him 3 times in playoffs, got killed 3 times in the playoffs. He did beat him once, but they very rarely. And then Magic beat Bird, 3 times? What the fuck? Why doesn't he have a bigger value? And why isn't he have a bigger value? I don't. And then why has he got the value? Because he's won 6 titles. So why isn't Bill Russell worth like $1 million? Because he won 10. I don't understand it. I just shake my head, as Bobby would say. But anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't understand that. However, with gold, you can't print it. Part of the reason is they printed a lot of those cards, keep the value down. The more you print, the less they're worth. The 86 Flair, very hard to get a Jordan rookie that is nicely centered. I know. I looked for anything in the 86 Flair to get centered, and I found one Elijah one, and I bought it. That's it. I mean, my Isaiah, my Barkley, my all the guys, Bird and Magic, you couldn't find them perfectly centered. So there's no perfectly centered Jordan. So it is very limited to find a 10, maybe not a 9, but a 10. Again, that's the same. The more you print, the less it's worth. That's a perfect example. So when they printed $250 billion over the weekend, the more you print, the less it's worth. Oh, you can do interest rate this and interest rate that. You just pumped another $250 billion and destroyed the value of this. And Powell's excuse is, well, we're raising interest rates until we wreck the economy and prices will come down. Dude, you're running the Fed and you don't know what inflation is. It has nothing to do with prices. Prices are the market. Prices come down in Toyota because they want to sell the vehicle. That doesn't mean it's not inflation. That's why I don't look at this, the CPI or the PPI. The Consumer Price Index, prices that are over the market that are coming down is not mean inflation's coming down. Unbelievable. Just how stupid these people are. It just blows my mind. But these are Keynesians. They don't understand what we speak. They don't understand real Austrian economics. Adam Smith, invisible hand. That's all they want to do is get their hands in it. So it's really discouraging. I'm sitting there going, these guys are all fucking idiots. They don't even know what inflation is. But that's me, and I understand they're all wrong. But most people think it's price and think, oh, if the prices come down, inflation's down. No, you fucked up the currency. That hasn't. And that's where we're really going to win on gold and silver, because they'll realize they're wrong, and then they're fucked. And then, they don't understand the other end of raising interest rates. Yeah, you're trying to kill the inflation, but it's not going to work. And on top of it, inflation's to 20%, not 7 or 8. And on top of that, you're killing the bond market. And on top of that, you're killing the banks. You're killing, everything, and you're killing the economy to get the dollar that you'll never get fixed, because It's not backed by anything. So even if this happens and that happens, you're still not going to stop inflation because you keep printing the money, and the more you print, the less it's worth. And until you understand that printing the money devalues it, or and you're not saying, and the more you're relying on prices to come down, then you're all fucking idiots. And this is the problem with money. And this is another reason they have gold and silver. They can't print it. Nobody's sitting there on a printing press or a 3D printer printing out gold and silver. It can't be done. You need silver. If you're going to do a 3D printer on silver, you need silver. You can't 3D print aluminum or brass. I mean, you can't put brass in a 3D printer with gold and say, oh, it's gold. No, it won't be gold because it's not gold. It won't pass any test. It won't look the color. You're fucked. The only way you can 3D print gold is if you have more gold, and then it's fine because you've printed gold, which I doubt you can do anyway. So the story is as much gold and silver as you can have and put it in a safe place, put it in your freezer, in your fridge, somewhere that nobody will fucking ever think to look. They'll look for a safe. They'll look under your bed. Well, in Bobby's case, they'll find all his silver under his pillow, but you want it in a safe place. If you got to go into a U-Haul, somewhere where the government can't lock it up. You don't want it in a bank. Your safety deposit box in a bank, they'll close the bank. And then what do you do, right? These people at Silicon Valley, they got the safety deposit boxes. Well, sorry, the bank's closed. And they were calling the police on people who wanted to get their money. They called the cops on them. So, just wait for martial law like the Nazis did, where the military runs the country. I don't know if JP Morgan will allow it, but it wouldn't put it past me to have the military under JP Morgan's control. I would not doubt that. But keep in mind, JP Morgan is the mafia, and so the mafia is running everything. And then so you really have no choice but to buy gold and silver, right? They're just going to print. They're too stupid to understand it's not worth anything, unless it's Don Corleone, he'd be smart enough. I bet he had a lot of gold in The Godfather, but that's the point. It's so critical, and somebody's been keeping the gold price down for many, not since 71, but even then it was 35 an ounce when they went out. Where did they pick that number from? And then it was immediately up to 800. So it's never been market. So once we can get a free market gold price, you're not even close to what it's going to be. I mean, it's especially if you keep printing, if you market in this, where they just printed another 250 billion, which raises the price even more, because now you have, this is basically valueless. So what happens when this goes out? What's the price of gold? How are you going to price it? You price it in gold. What does gold buy? Oh yeah, I want to go to Kroger's. Well, I got an ounce of silver. I can buy the store out. I can fill up 5 grocery carts with the ounce of silver. That's basically what's going to that's the beauty of gold and silver. It gets priced in its own language. It's like, we go back to Romans. The Romans, 100% gold and silver, that was the currency. So they paid for things with gold and silver. That's what they didn't need. They didn't need this, right? Now they debased the currency and took the gold out of the currency. But basically, the gold was the current. They didn't. This was the ounce of gold or silver. Were buy your food and buy your clothes and buy whatever they did in Rome. They didn't have, maybe buy the chariot or something. But they didn't need fiat, right? They used it. So you're covered there. So if the dollar collapses and they don't have anything, you just use your gold and silver as money. Try doing that with Bitcoin. Oh, I don't have a Bitcoin wallet. Well, sorry. You can't sell me your Bitcoin for Kroger's. How's that going to work? So anybody that thinks Bitcoin's money basically doesn't understand what money is. And it's a scam. It's a Madoff, basically. And I know people will disagree with me, and I don't really care because that's what it is. So you either believe that's what it is or you don't believe that's what it is. Right? You can believe what you want. I'm teaching you what it is, and I went through what money is. So if I had a choice between getting out of the bank, going to Bitcoin or gold, I'm in gold. Period. I don't have to worry about energy problems. I got the gold in my hand. I don't have the Bitcoin in my hand. I want it in my hand. It's much more valuable. So keep that in mind. Watch your stocks. They're going out. Yes, they're 33, 32,000, which is mostly pumped in by the Fed, printing money, putting it into the stocks. It's all bullshit. It's not supply and demand. It's in some key companies that either that Buffett owns or BlackRock owns or JP Morgan owns. Those are the companies that they happen to own it are the ones going up. The rest, they're not. It's such a bullshit game. This makes the NFL playoffs look like it's not fixed. So keep that in mind. Be open-minded. Understand reality. The mob is running everything. Understand that. It's not hard. Go watch The Godfather. It's very clear. They control the politicians because they bought them in. They put the money in. Now, the politicians need the votes, so they will be pretty honest. This is why the CPI is fake, because they can't show a high CPI. Then you're going to blame them. There'll be protests like in Spain and like in France and Germany, where they're all protesting the government and the inflation and the energy problems. So this is what you got. So if the government keeps fucking her up, you're going to have protests, and you'll never get reelected. And keep in mind, none of these guys have a brain in their head, obviously. I like a few that I'm seeing that are kind of fiery, but I do not like politics. Just give me the gold standard, get the fuck out of the way, and let us just get rid of the interest rates, get rid of the Federal Reserve. Just give me my gold. And the banks are nothing more than you hold my gold for me if I let you. That's really what it is. It's safety, because you can't keep like $100,000 in your house. So you keep it in a bank. That was the whole point of the bank, is safety, not, I get 2% at the bank. Oh, aren't they nice? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I get to pay tax on it yet. So really I walk away with 0.5%. What a fucking scam this whole thing is. So keep that in mind. It's a game played poorly, played fixed. It's a fixed football game. We all hate that. Keep that in mind. So we'll keep an eye on the bank runs. Apparently this bank got bailed out. Now let's look at the reaction. How many people are going to dump their money? This will probably be on our Friday show, Bobby, with Andrew McGuire. He'll probably start showing statistics of people pulling their money out. And where's it going? Gold and silver. That's what it's either, I'll do it the German way, stocks, Bitcoin, or gold. You have your three choices. Right now, stocks is winning, but wait till stocks start crashing. And then what they figure out, Bitcoin, what am I going to do with that? And then they'll figure out gold. And that's when the price goes way past the moon. It's already going there, Russia, China, and India. So it's just a matter of time here. But how long can JP Morgan keep price fixing gold? I mean, he's buying a hell of a lot. So how much more is left for him to buy? Because the Chinese and the Russians sure as shit are buying a ton of it. The Indians are buying silver. I mean, they're buying 1 billion ounces a month. It's unbelievable. So how many ounces are there to be bought? There can't be that much left. And then there's no reason to hold the price down because you bought everything. So that's really the only reason I can see they're holding the price down, is to keep buying it, because they know the dollar's blowing up, and it's nice to buy silver at 25 an ounce as long as we can. So keep that, be aware of that. That's the point. So Bobby, accumulate as much fucking silver as you can, and then use it if you want to buy a house to rent out or whatever. And believe me, if you're renting out a house, Bobby, you want to get paid in gold and silver. You're not taking cash for that house. You want silver for it. Oh, you want to rent my house? It's going to be 3 ounces of silver. If you don't like it, tough. That's how I would, if I'm selling anything, I want silver and gold. Now, I don't know if I can do that on eBay. If I sell the Jordan for $250, that immediately goes and buys 10 ounces of silver. I mean, that's how I look at it. But I think all these, I don't know how they're going to price. Is this going to be worth an ounce of silver, which will be $1,000? This card will probably be an ounce of silver. That's how I look at these assets going up. They'll be priced in dollars that won't have a value, and then so you're going to trade it in for silver and gold. So that's my thought of it. Anyway, what else? So again, I went to the bank. No bank run at Fifth Third. Okay, my money's still in there. I saw my balance. So I'm okay, I guess, for now. I thought maybe Monday morning it wouldn't be there. That's why I went there. No line. People are too stupid to take their money. I left her with this. She's giving me this stuff. So is there anything we can help you with? And I basically said, no, I'm just making sure you're still open. And then I kind of made a joke. I said, I already got all my money out now. It wasn't a joke. It was a joke, but it wasn't. It was like, all my money's out. So I'm not really worried. I'm just seeing what's going on in the market. And I might go to a few other Fifth Thirds or other banks to see, there's a chase around. How you guys having a bank run? You still open? Everything good? And I think here people are too stupid. I think people are they're into the college basketball bracket and they don't know what the fuck's going on. So this is the problem with it's like Madoff. People aren't seeing the problem. They should have saw this 2008 crash, pulled their money out of Madoff, and that's it. But Madoff was like, if you pull your money, you can't put it back in. Okay, I made enough off of you. I would have, first of all, I never would have got into Madoff. If you can't show me how you're making your money, then it's got to be a scam. I have this girl, she wants to meet, can I have a couple $100? I says, well, show me who you are. Send me a pitch. Let's call, Skype me so I know who it is. Oh, I can't do that. My manager, this and that. Okay, fine. Then we're not going to meet because I don't know who you are. And I never heard of anybody that won't call me or Skype me or somehow get me there. So I know who I'm talking about. At least the girls in Europe, I saw them on the internet, talked to them on the internet before I went and knew who the hell they were. Then I felt comfortable going there, and those are the girls I met. So if if it's going to be blind, so a big key, guys, if some hot girl says, hey, I'll come to you, send me a few $100 so my manager can show. Say, well, give me a picture. Oh, I can't. Why the fuck can't you? This is America. Unless you're being held by the Nazis or the Russian mafia, you can send me a picture or you can do a video of, hi, it's me. Hi, Professor, it's me. Boom, boom, boom. And if you can't prove that, I'm not that stupid. You're not getting a penny out of me. I got to help my girls who I know, and I know who they are and are very close with. My girlfriends, those are the ones getting my money, not somebody, it's probably some Russian mafia guy. That's why you can't send the picture because, it's not the person I think I'm talking to. So you got to be very careful. Those are scams going on. You can't get a direct communication with the person or go fly to meet them. I met one girl in Vegas. I flew to Vegas. I'm at this hotel. She came to the hotel. Hello. Okay, fine. Here, let's go enjoy ourselves. But I met her first. I wasn't going to send the money. Now, after that, if she asked for money, I would send her. I knew who it was, right? So it's just I know who it is, but I don't want to blindly send money. Then I love how they say, oh, you don't trust me. I don't even know who the fuck you are. What do you mean trust you? I don't know who this is. So you got to be very, very careful about those scams, especially now. People need money. So anyway, that's what's going on. I talked about the health stuff at the beginning, Bobby. Nick's doing his second 18 hours. He's all excited. So we talked about that. The bank runs, the gold, it's going to go really high. If you don't have your money out of the bank yet, you better get it the fuck out and go buy gold and silver. It's a no-brainer. You cannot lose. But what's going to happen is you're going to run out of gold and silver, and you're not going to get it at this price. Just like silver last week, the guy didn't have any. Well, he had the $35 ones, but he didn't have the junks, the bullions, I should say. Didn't have that. So I had to buy the half-ounce gold, which is fine. I'm okay buying the Eagle gold, not a problem. But again, it's once I get the unemployment going, then I can go into my savings and buy some more gold because I have 5 months until I need the savings again, and we'll see what happens. Don't know when I'm going to Spain. Waiting to hear from when Jenna is available to go. I don't know what's going on in the fucking war. I see all these missiles Russia's sending. Still, we have no idea what the hell. What are you fighting for? It's the dumbest war. Well, we're fighting for territory. Really? Like your missile doesn't fly where are you trying to fire it? So what the fuck are you talking about? These guys are so stupid. Anyway, I think that's it. Watch out for these bank runs. There's your swan, your black swan. Get your money out of the fucking bank. Buy your gold and silver. Get your money out of the stock market. This is the beginning. It is March. By April, we're going to be looking at huge gold and silver prices, most likely, probably 95% by April. Can't guarantee it because it's not controlled. It's whenever JP Morgan wants it to go up or Russia has their bricks backed by gold and they've come out with a physical gold exchange. So we're waiting for that basically. And so I think they realize they can't fuck Russia and China. That's why they're all JP Morgan's buying all this silver and Buffett. They're all buying the silver because they realize they can't stop the price anymore. So they've been the ones buying it cheap here, as well as Russia, China, and India. So keep in mind, there's a method to the man. I'll keep the price at 25 and let's buy as much silver as we can. That's what really is going on. So everybody thinks, oh, there's no demand for it. Yeah, that's why Buffett has 2 billion ounces of silver because there's no demand for it. Yeah, right. Okay. I think that's it. Basketball. On the way to swim, I will stop at the library, print out a bracket, and then go through my my numbers. Houston lost yesterday. I was shocked. Purdue wins. Alabama wins in a blowout. So again, I am very raw at college basketball now. I haven't watched it. Really, I watched a little yesterday. So if I give you a game, it's like a 1-star, a 1 unit. I don't know. Don't judge me. I can help you with the rhyme and reason. But at this point, I have no idea. I would not bet a penny on my games because they're just really raw looking at the stats going, well, according to this, Houston scores 80, gives up 50. They're probably the best team on what I do in football. But again, we have to, does that work in basketball? I don't know. And that's what I'm finding out. But we'll go through the bracket maybe tomorrow. That's about it. So I feel good. I got new tires, got my unemployment thing all set. So Monday I can start getting that money to join my other money. And I got my dark chocolate, Bobby. Can't get better than that. 90%. All right. So I guess I'm off. I got a phone call to make and I got to go eat and I got to go through a hot tub and soak my foot. And I got to go to the library to get the bracket. So that's where I'm off to. www.teaserking.com. You get my email. Please email me with questions, comments. I went on last night because I heard of the bank runs and I heard of the bank, and then I hear that they've did the bail out, which I thought they would do bail ins. So they bail them out. I don't know if they're going to bail out all the banks. They're just trying to delay it for a while, because if they didn't, then everybody would run going, oh, fuck. The stock market would have crashed, because they did it just before the Chinese stock market opened. And had they not done it, you just saw the Dow down 5,000 points today. And you're going to see it in the future. It's just they can't keep bailing it out. They don't have money. They're printing. The more they print, the less it's worth. So I don't know what the fuck they're doing. All right, www.teaserking.com. Any more? You're welcome, Bobby. All right, go buy your silver. At least go buy 20 ounces of silver at $25 an ounce before the price will not be anywhere near this 25, and you will not be able to find it. At best, you'll be able to find the Eagles at 35, and that's not going to stay for long. You've got it now. It's not even me. You've had a possible bank run. You've had a bank collapse that they had to bail out. Now another one today, and it's all going to collapse because of the higher interest rates. So there's your reason, right? They're in bonds at 1%, and now you got to redo them. They come due, and now you're come due at 5%, but your budget doesn't allow that, so your costs are way higher. And and these guys are crooked anyway. This one bank's just crooked. So keep that in mind. Please be safe. You cannot lose in gold and silver. As I said in that one movie, if the guy would have bought $60,000 worth of gold and silver, he never would have went broke. He'd probably be worth $80,000 with no risk, but he didn't understand the game that a salesman, a finance salesman, telling you so he makes commission. He doesn't care about you. Gold and silver doesn't have that. There's nobody that has to care about you. You own the gold and silver. His 60,000 goes to 80,000. It's secure. Nobody can fuck with him. He didn't understand. Had he listened to me, you'd have a bunch of people alive today that got killed because this guy lost his money. If people would just, you got 60, 80 grand to invest, buy fucking gold. What are you thinking? You buy the one thing that's sure as shit. It's a lock. It's Georgia. That's it. That's gold. You can't lose. It's even G, right? G for gold, not Georgia. You can't lose. There's no fucking risk, especially with happening in BRICS. There's even less of a risk. Oh, they might confiscate it. They're not. They can't. What are they going to do? Knock on everybody's 350 million people's door? What if I'm not home? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Let me see your gold. I don't have any gold. Go check my freezer. Go check my Cool Whip containers. It's no risk. You must understand the risk you're taking with this, especially during major inflation throughout the world. The collapse is coming. You must understand the game is different than in any other time because the whole world's collapsing. And the only out is gold and silver. There is no other currency to go to. And they can't stop printing it. And they can raise interest rates to 100%. You can't do it. It'll kill the economy, but you can raise interest rates all you want. You're not stopping the inflation. So therefore, unless you want to put your money in the bank, and now how are you going to trust these banks that are going broke, that need bailouts? Who the fuck's putting their money in a bank? There's no safety there. There's no interest there. What are you fucking doing? And don't put your money in treasuries. Gold's the only answer, but nobody will tell you that. None of your financial planners will tell you buy gold. Why not? JP Morgan and the Mafia. All right, everybody. Have a good day. I will talk to you tomorrow. If there's something that breaks, I will talk to you tonight. So keep an eye on it. If I hear something that won't hold for tomorrow, I will. There's a bank run I hear about. If another bank collapses, another country, we got Japan on the way out. That's another pyramid. That's another black swan in a different pond. Oh, thank you. God, Miss Martinez, I don't know. Anhoy. I'll try Anhoy, but I don't want to mispronounce it. I just haven't seen that. Well, night classes are cool. We will see, but if something comes up, we'll see. I know these are long classes, so it's hard to like, oh, let me look at 3 hours. So I try to put the key stuff in the front. But then Nick, I started doing with his 18-hour fast. But I would do smaller ones, but you keep asking questions. What am I going to do? Go and then come back and keep answering your questions. So I do it like this. But anyway, please be safe. The best way to be safe is gold and silver. Even Jenna asked me about Bitcoin and crypto and gold, and I just laughed at her. I said, I've already taught you that. You don't want to be in crypto. I don't know if she has friends or family that are in crypto asking her. And she probably said, well, let me ask Howard. Just buy fucking gold, period. I think she even said, where do I sell it? Just go to the gold, go to somebody that buys gold. Go to a coin shop. I'm sure they have in the Ukraine somebody buying and selling gold. Although that's probably where the Russians are. They're not really there for the thing. They're there to go to the coin stores, and they pull up with their tank, and all the guys get out. They all okay. We want to buy gold, and they all buy their gold. And they go back into the tank, and then they surrender. Okay, we've got the gold out of it. So that's my point. We might end up going to Switzerland to cash some gold and silver in and then go to Spain. I don't know. And then I'm a little concerned with these protests. But who knows? We'll try to find a hotel. Well, maybe we won't go to Madrid. Like, where are the protests? We'll fly to another city. Anyway, be safe. Buy as much silver and gold as fast as you can. I think we got maybe a month. Another bank collapses, you don't have because everybody will empty their banks and they either go into Bitcoin, stocks, or gold. Probably in the stocks because they don't understand gold. Bitcoin, I don't know how much is left. I mean, 21 million ounces and they've already sold 20 million. So you don't have much left, and that's 20,000 a shot. Gold you can get for 2,000. If I was me, I'd be buying gold. But most people don't understand gold. They don't have a clue. So you've got to understand. Nobody understands gold except for us. And you've got to realize we're dealing with morons. And that's another problem we have. Except for the Russians, Chinese, and Indians, they're pretty smart, aren't they? All right, everybody. Have a great day. Take care. And I am off to, I'm going to make a call and eat in a library and swim. All right. Take care, everybody.